should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better. Don't
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hey y'all, it's so good to see y'all on this Tuesday. I want to change my background back to that. I'm so glad y'all are here. I found some cases and I was like, oh my goodness, somebody emailed me about one of them. And y'all, I looked it up. The Giovonni one, he's from my old stomping grounds. That's where he lived at when he wasn't visiting Florida. And we're going to talk about it. I'm so glad y'all are here. Thank you for being here. Um, Curious Christine, you are so sweet coming in and giving a super sticker. Actually, that reminds me I need to access my live so I can see what it was. You made my day, y'all. Yesterday, I was upset today. I was even debating on coming live because last night I was milking the goats and I call him Houdini because he gets out of the pen all the time. I can't see what the super sticker was, but thank you, Curious Christine. That was very sweet of you, and I appreciate it. Last night I was milking the goats and I put Houdini up, which is the boy, and they get so damn excited about their food and he jerked me and there's like their pen, I got to redo it. I just because we might be going to Arkansas, I haven't redone it. And he pulled me into this tree stump because it's like fencing around tree stumps. And I think I broke my pinky toe because, like, y'all, it hurts so bad. So I don't know. It's hurting me something awful. So I'm gonna be, um, yes, he does. Hey, Anders. Um, I'm gonna be on for as long as we can. I've got quite a few things to talk to y'all about, but then I'm gonna rest my foot. It hurts. Um, hey Tom, good to see you. Westside, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Edith and Crystal, thank y'all for being here. I appreciate it. So good to see y'all. Rubber Ramada, good to see you. Hannah UK, good to see you. I heard that I saw you in another chat. And I said, hey, I don't know if you saw me. I usually go there when I'm about to go to sleep. It was nice to see you there. Hey, Parabola, good to see you. Dandy Lioness, good to see you. Michael Green Chili Chicken, Cindy from sunny South Florida, Miss Scorpio Rising, Snarky Pants, good to see y'all. I'm glad y'all are here today to talk about true crime with me. Scrolling. Southern Cats, good to see you. Hi. Hi, everybody. All right. One sunny day. I saw you and then it went away. If I miss you guys, it's not intentional. I just didn't see you. Teresa, good to see you. And Miss Scorpio Rising just gifted a membership. Thank you for that. That was so very sweet of you. That went to Mystic Firefly. Mystic Firefly, if you happen to be floating around in here and you're aware that Miss Scorpio gifted you, please tell her thank you. Thank you, Miss Scorpio. I'll grab the crazy train to pick you up. Mystic Firefly on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much, Miss Scorpio. Thank you. Yes, Krama. I hang around in the Krama community. Sometimes they butt a lot. They headbutt a lot, but I'll grab their horns and I'll move them out the way. Oh, curious. I'm glad that you felt like home, that this feels like home. I love our little speculating family we got going on over here. Our people are amazing. Thank you for being here. I'm glad that this feels like home to you. That touches my heart. It really does. All right, so we're going to talk about first Giovonni Pelletier, I do believe is how you say his name. Tom said, I had a small goat headbutt me the other day. I started laughing and said, really? They're funny. They're cute, but I don't know. Sometimes they get on my daggum nerves. All right, so we need this one first. So, oh, we do have an awesome chat. Westside said, congrats, Mystic Firefly. Thank you, Westside. That was sweet of you. We're testing. Nope, we need this one. Okay, I've got a couple of articles to talk to you about with Giovonni and then some things his parents have posted on Facebook. And then we're going to talk about Rebekah Baptiste. My God, in the morning, that child went through some hell. Poor baby. So we're starting with Giovanni. Let me actually, 12. All right. So Giovanni, okay, we'll just start with the article. It reads, we might have a video we can watch about it real quick. I've got to get that Brave browser. Okay.
Deputies confirm a body found in
Okay. Here
Manatee County deputies confirm a body found in a retention pond is a teenager who vanished last week while visiting family.
Oh my goodness.
Investigators say the body of 18-year-old Giovonni Pelletier was in the pond located at the southbound off-ramp of Interstate 75 and State Road 70. Pelletier disappeared while visiting family back on August 1st. His cause of death is still unknown. An autopsy is scheduled for tomorrow.
Oh, gracious, why is that so loud? I don't need to go to the airport, thank you. Okay. All right. So it reads, Tampa, Florida. A body found near Florida retention pond is confirmed to be that of a teenager who went missing last week while visiting family. According to a Manatee County Sheriff's Office, preliminary evidence collected from the scene has identified the body as 18-year-old Giovonni Pelletier. The teen's family also confirmed the identification on social media. Pelletier of Fuquay Varina, North Carolina, was last seen walking away from a vehicle along Interstate 75 in Manatee County on August 1st, prompting a statewide search for the teen. When I saw that, I knew I had to cover the case because Fuquay Varina was where I used to go to skip school, and then we would head out to Holly Springs. I'm actually we lived so I've lived in Appalachia before when I was very young, but for most of my life I lived in a town that's literally right beside Fuquay Varina. Growing up, you know, being young and dumb and you know the rest, we called it Fuckway Vagina. So if I was leaving school or skipping school, which I should not have been doing, they would be like, "Where are you going?" "We're going to Fuckway Vagina," which was Fuquay Varina. So it just surprised me to see that this case, that's where what he was originally from. There's also another case of a little 10-year-old girl who got hit by a boat with her family in Lake Harris, that I want to talk to y'all about. That's at Sharon Harris, the power plant. They have a lake out there where people can go swimming and fishing like that, and things like that. And we've been out there several times. I grew up out there, and it's just uh crazy. Anyway, continuing with the article, it says previous coverage, there was a text saying, "Mom, help me." So it continues. On Friday, law enforcement located the body in a retention pond at the southbound off ramp of I 75 and State Road 70. Now, there is some conflicting statements about who actually found his body, and we're going to talk about that. Peltier was visiting Florida to meet up with his father's side of the family. Jeremy Brown, the teen's stepfather, told Nexstar's WFLA. He was excited to go, but texted his mother, Bridget Peltier, shortly after leaving with his cousins. Quote, he was picked up by three cousins that came from Mims, Florida, unquote. A volunteer and licensed private investigator Shelley Croft explained at WFLA while the search for Peltier was ongoing, quote, he wanted to kind of get to know that side of the family that he does not know. They had only communicated via text messages and FaceTime calls, and they came down here to Inglewood, picked him up, and 21 minutes after he left the home, he sent his mom a text message that said, quote, "Mom, help me." Those cousins told Charlotte County deputies as they were heading north on Interstate 75, Giovanni began acting erratically before getting out of the car and walking away. They said this happened in the area near State Road 70 in Manatee County. Later that night, Giovanni texted his mother and other family members. His cell phone and backpack were ultimately located in the same area he had last been seen. Quote, I'm living every parent's worst nightmare, trying to find the strength to give him the goodbye he deserves, Bridget wrote on Facebook, according to Nexstar. An autopsy is scheduled for Sunday. The cause of death is still unknown. Now, I do have the results of that autopsy, and so we'll talk about that. I don't know much about it either. Somebody messaged me and asked me to go over it, and so I figured that's what we would do, especially when I saw he was from what I used to call fuckway vagina.
New tonight, we have the
hold on.
preliminary results from the autopsy of an 18-year-old from Fuquay.
Okay. So this is a little news segment on it, and then we'll read this article about the situation.
New tonight, we have the preliminary results from the autopsy of an 18-year-old from Fuquay
Hey, Lori.
who was found dead. The results are inconclusive. The Bureau's Kirsten Clark joins us live from
Hey,
Fuquay
Kelly.
Arena tonight. Kirsten, what did the local sheriff say about those results?
Eric, according to the results, there is still more testing that needs to be done.
She's at the hospital. That's the hospital that's in Fuquay. So Fuquay Varina is in Wake County. I used to hang out. I skip school and go to Wake County. Oh, it's on the screen. I didn't even think about that, but it's like southern Wake County.
Provide the answers Giovanni's family is desperately searching for. They're still wondering what happened to the teen, a former student here at Fuquay Varina High School, after learning of that shocking discovery in a Florida retention pond.
Oh, she said it's a high school. Dang, that's a new high school. They must have redone it. It's nice. That's not what the high school looked like in Fuquay back then, but Lord, that was 25 years ago, so I apologize.
This video shows Manatee County Sheriff's deputies at the
Hey,
scene
Connie.
where they confirmed Giovanni's body was recovered. But according to an autopsy, the medical examiner believes they still need more tests to be sure it's really Giovonni Pelletier. The medical examiner also says he found no evidence of foul play. The cause of death is still pending. Detectives believe the body had been in the pond for several days.
So there's no evidence of foul play. The fact that the body had been in the pond for several days tells me he ended up in the pond deceased shortly after all communication stopped, and the cause of death is still pending. Now, I'm going to see if there's been any more updates as of today, but it's a very curious situation. He goes down to Florida with his family. He says he wants to meet the other side of the family, and so he goes to hang out with them. They're supposed to drive him up to a county, and there's an article. One of these articles has the parent talking about that, and they're going to pick him up. It's like 3 hours away or whatever. Okay, so he takes a ride with his cousins, and then texts his mom, says, "Help me, mom, help me," and then tries to call his mom and tries to call his aunt, I believe. And it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, so of course they were asleep, and then he ends up deceased. This is a very weird case.
We learned that a family member was searching for Giovanni when they saw what appeared to be a body partially submerged at the edge of the pond.
Now, that part, and we're going to, again, I have some screenshots to show you in reference to that, but that part really got to me too, because according to the mother on Facebook, which I can probably pull up real quick, she's the one that found him. And like, how did the police not find him? Like, I don't understand why mom was even out there necessarily looking. Right here. She says, the police didn't find my baby. The investigators didn't find my baby. The dogs didn't. The helicopters didn't. Stop spreading lies. You have no idea. We found my baby, and I will never be the same. And that's really sad. And then you go back and you think about Jack and Lily Sullivan and Jade and Spicer. If the investigators and the dogs and the helicopters and the police didn't find her son, but she was able to find him, are the police and helicopters and investigators and dogs not able to find these children? but the adults are. It just concerns me. It makes me feel like that they thought that, he just disappeared with his family, like his cousins or something. I don't know. It upsets me. And then we have this from her. It says, "My son was recently found after a desperate search by our family alone, and we are still facing an active investigation into his death. I am living every parent's worst nightmare trying to find the strength to give him the goodbye he deserves. We ask that you please respect our privacy at this time as we try to navigate this for his 4 younger siblings." And they talk about how contagious that smile is. He was absolutely perfect. My phone is ringing and it literally says telemarketer. No, thank you. I'm busy with the speculating family. All right, let's get back to that article and that video we were watching. Let me see what y'all are saying. Teresa said they are water-filled ponds that temporarily store water, slowly release street runoff and stormwater to prevent flooding, and they're nasty. They are. Hey, Dainty. I mean, even though I don't like them, but the laundries found Brian's whole tooth in a jungle and nobody else could. True. I remember that. Right, Westside? It is sad, Cindy. Hey, Kimmy C. Yeah, there's your sign. Ponds seem to be dangerous, but a few of the missing kids they have just guessed they drowned in the pond. Yeah. Retention ponds, yeah, it's not a place you want to be at.
And notified deputies. Pelletier was last seen on August 1st in Mims, Florida. We spoke with Giovanni's aunt last week. She says the family was in Inglewood, Florida on vacation visiting with Giovanni's mother's fiance's family. Giovanni met up with his cousins early Friday morning around 1:30. Shortly after, Giovanni's mother received an ominous text message from her son that read, "Mom, help." According to the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, the cousin said he suddenly began to act erratically before exiting the vehicle and walking away. The family tells us they have concerns about the cousins possibly changing their story. Giovanni's backpack and phone were also left on the side of the road. His phone was last pinged near a highway in Manatee County, Florida.
Now, I don't know what happened. I would definitely be concerned if my child went to go with their cousins and then they text me for fucking help and I got a phone call asking for help, assuming that, he not only did he text and say, "Mom, help me," but then I get a phone call. So that means he's so desperate for help that he's ready to wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go help him. Yeah, I'm going to be real suspicious of the cousins. And then if their story keeps changing on top of that, it makes it even weirder. When I heard that, I was thinking, okay, so maybe the cousins, I don't know, smoked some weed or something, or were doing something like that. And Giovanni smokes, but he hasn't smoked before or something. And maybe he got really paranoid and then got out of the vehicle. But even with that, like, you don't typically end up deceased. Like, even if, like, it's his first time smoking weed or something and he tripped out a little bit or something, or they gave him, but I don't know. It's weird, and especially with the cousins changing the story. Like, I don't know if they're scared to get caught because they gave him something. Did Gio know that they gave him something? Did he freak out? Like, was he willing to participate in the smoking of the blunt or whatever happened? And then what happened after that? It seems to me like if I was with my cousin during the days when I was running the streets, and which I had no business doing, and somebody freaked out, I would have like tried to get them to calm down and then take them home, and then with all the anxiety and tears in my eyes explain to my family we were smoking weed and we probably shouldn't have been, and he kind of freaked out. Like, why is that not what happened if that's the case? Hey, JoJo's. I'm wondering if a toxicology test was done too. I would assume that there was. Teresa said if he smoked, it could have been laced with psychedelic ingredients. It could have. The cousins didn't help look for him. What? Really? That's true. All kinds of shit does happen in Florida, Tom. I think that the cousins were taking care of a jealous baby mama from times of old. Interesting. I haven't heard that. I'm not whose baby mama? His baby mama? The cousin's baby mama? The stepdad's baby mama? I don't know. See, didn't even help. Right. What on earth?
Again, more testing needs to be done to positively confirm that it is Giovanni's body. We are still working to learn as much as we can about what happened leading up to the discovery of that body. Live in Fuquay Arena, Kirsten Clark, WRAL News.
Okay, it says more testing needed on body believed to be NC teen who disappeared in Florida, medical examiner says. A medical examiner on Sunday said the body believed to be Giovonni Pelletier who went missing from Charlotte County, Florida, showed no signs of foul play, but they need to test the body further, which would make me think maybe they're talking about a toxicology. Medical examiners on Sunday said they need to do more testing to confirm if a body found on Friday belongs to a North Carolina teen who went missing last week. According to Manatee County Sheriff's Office in Florida, a medical examiner with the District 12 Medical Examiner's Office in Sarasota, Florida, has not yet made an official identification on the body believed to be 18-year-old Giovonni Pelletier. Just so y'all know, real quick, before I continue, I did submit a FOIA on this morning, and they messaged me back and said they received it and are working on it. So hopefully I'll have the police records for this case soon. Continuing with the article, the Manatee County Sheriff's Office, in a release to WRAL News, said while the medical examiner did not officially identify the body as Giovonni, quote, no foul play or trauma was found during the autopsy. The sheriff's office said the cause and manner of death are still under investigation and a pending toxicology report. So, yep, there's our answer to was a toxicology done. Hey, Sky Maiden and Grave Adventures. You think it was the cousin? Yeah, why aren't the cousins helping with the search? Good question. Good day. Didn't they say it was not him? I don't think so. I think it was him. Yeah, it is sus. Some people can get psychotic symptoms from smoking weed. A guy I knew tried to swim home from Spain. They managed to stop him, luckily. Oh my goodness, that is crazy, Anders. Florida man, it's crazy. All right. Family members of Pelletier told WRAL News on Friday that they found his body in a pond. I'm going to click on that and see. Yep, here's the article on that. Hold on, let me go back and finish reading that one, and then we'll watch this one. Stop it. Stop it right now. According to the sheriff's office, a family member was conducting a search on Friday when they saw what happened to be a body partially submerged at the edge of the pond and notified deputies. On Saturday, a preliminary investigation from the Manatee County Sheriff's Office determined the body was Giovonni, but said it would need further testing. Detectives said they believed the body had been in the pond for several days before floating to the surface. Quote, Mom help. Last text from Fuquay Arena teen before vanishing in Florida has family concerned. Giovonni was last seen on August 1st in Mims, Florida, near Orlando. His aunt, Destiny Pelletier, told WRAL News that the family was in Inglewood, Florida on vacation visiting Giovanni's grandmother's fiance's family when Giovonni met up with his cousins early Friday morning. On August 1st, Giovonni texted his family, quote, Mom, help. The Charlotte County Sheriff's Office said around 1:30 a.m. Thursday, Giovonni went to see his cousins. The cousins told Sheriff's Office that he suddenly began to act erratically before exiting the vehicle and walking away. However, Desiree Pelletier said the family has concerns about the cousins' involvement. There's another one we can check out On top of their concerns about the cousins possibly changing their story, it's the text messages Giovonni sent his mom, his grandfather, and another aunt on the aunt's side. Quote, that makes my stomach feel like all these emotions and feelings of what was he feeling in that moment, unquote, Desiree Pelletier said. Quote, that's why we're just so terrified. We just want to find him. We want him home. Desiree Pelletier said Giovanni's mother had his location on her phone, which was last pinged near a highway in Manatee County, Florida. Desiree Pelletier said a truck driver picked up Giovanni's bag after seeing it on the side of the road, and it was turned over to the police. Anyone with information can contact the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office at 941-639-2101. We're going to go to family has concerns, and then we're going to see what the aunt had to say. Family has concerns about the cousin's involvement. Okay. Mom, help. Is this the one we just saw? No. Is it? Pleading for help after he went missing. I don't know. We'll watch it.
Mom, help. An ominous text message that has a local family fearing the worst after a Fuquay-Varina teen vanished while visiting family in Florida. Now the family is looking for any type of help to bring him home.
And it's so sad that they were offering a $10,000 reward, and they're the ones that ended up finding him. Glitter said, when I lived in Kansas City, people there would soak marijuana in embalming fluid. They called it wet. I guess whenever they smoked it, it would make them go literally crazy. I've heard about that, but I've heard wet was PCP, and then when they smoked weed, when they dipped weed in embalming fluid, it was called Love Boat. I never smoked any of it, but I had heard about it. I was always afraid of it, honestly. It not necessarily sewage in a runoff retention pond. It's like it could have anything on the road, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I think from what that person was saying in chat, I'd have to look it up, but I think it's like, you know how when it rains and the drains that are on the side of the road, like they fill up with water, or like the drain on the side of the curb, the water goes down in that drain, and like the runoff from the road goes down in that drain, and then like you can walk by it if you're walking on the sidewalk and you can hear it moving and flowing. I think it goes to these retention ponds, so it would have like car oil, possibly trash, possibly sewage, depending on like if there's a homeless encampment where they're using the restroom outside, or I don't know. I would think so, maybe. I don't know. Let me see. It's a pond to catch runoff, so it doesn't flood. Yeah, not necessarily poop, but maybe. I heard dipping cigarettes in embalming fluid was called wiki sticks. I never messed with that shit either. Farm runoff out here in retention ponds. Oh, Lord. Hey, Kate. I got wet before in Florida, but it was angel dust and weed. It was the scariest thing I ever wonder. It was the scariest thing ever. I wonder if that's what he got. Was it recent, Kate? Whatever was on the street ends up in the pond. Oil, feces, dead birds, etc. Yep. Okay.
WRL Sean Gallagher joining us from Fuquay-Varina. And Sean, give us an idea about that text message, when it was sent, and how long it's been since anyone has heard from this teenager.
Yeah, Dan, it's been about a week now, and family tell me that Gio Pelletier is very close with his mother, which makes this all the more concerning that the last time she had a message from him was about a week ago with that ominous text message.
The ask is simple for the Pelletier family.
We just want him home. That's the end goal here.
But there are a few answers at this point for his Aunt Desiree. Last Friday, while in Florida on vacation, Gio Pelletier went to hang out with some of his cousins. It was very early in the morning, about 1:30 a.m. Desiree says they had just arrived after a long road trip from North Carolina.
It was a later time. And somewhere along the drive between, 20 to 25 minutes, the text came out to my sister.
Mom, help. An urgent plea his mom and other family.
I'm going to back that up.
:30 a.m. Desiree says they had just arrived after a long road trip from North Carolina.
It was a later time. And somewhere along the drive between, 20 to 25 minutes, the text came out to my sister.
Mom, help. An urgent plea his mom and other family members missed as they were asleep.
What was he feeling in that moment? And that's why we're just so terrified, and we want to find him. We want him home.
Gio's cousins told the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office he was acting erratically before exiting the vehicle and walking away. But the family questions their account, saying one gave a fake name to law enforcement, and they changed their story about what happened. But especially because Gio left a bag and his phone behind on the side of the road with the lasting image of that final text message.
Him saying help is not, that's not normal. No one can convince our family differently, and especially my sister, that something is wrong, something happened.
I mean, yeah, it's not normal for your child to message you help. That is weird. Like, yeah, my child messages me help and then they're missing and then they end up deceased. Yeah, I'm going to have a damn problem with that. That's not normal. I don't know where you live at that it's normal for your child to text you mom help in any situation, but much less to end up missing or deceased after that. Absolutely not. Like, what is it backwards day? She lives with Lisa. Lisa's calling Jaden her dog. Oh, okay. Thank you, Daisy. Okay.
The family continues a daily search in the area where he was last seen in Florida, and they've also included a $10,000 reward for anyone that can provide any information that helps them locate Gio. In Fuquay Varina, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
Boy, let's hope he is found safe and sound. Thank you, Sean.
Okay. So this article continues. 2 words in a text message will be seared into the mind of Giovonni Pelletier's family. Mom, help. The family from Fuquay Varina is pleading for help finding the 18-year-old after he went missing under suspicious circumstances in Florida. We're going to go back. There was another one that I saw. If it'll let me go back. Okay. Yeah, family. No. I hate when it jumps like that. Okay. Oh my gosh, stop. Okay, I think it was the family members told WRAL News that they found his body. We're going to look at that. First, I want to pull up a map, though, that shows, like, the distances they were going and how far away exactly it was. Hold on just a minute. Okay, so they were in Inglewood. This is where he was picked up by his cousins and were driving back to Mims, Florida. So Mims, Florida is going to be this way, I would think. And it says about a 3-hour drive from Inglewood. I don't think you'd go up this way and then go that way. But his backpack and phone was discovered in Bradenton. And then we hear that the story's changing and all of that, and they're giving fake names to police. And you're over here when your destination is supposed to be up and to the right. What the hell happened? Hey, Irene. Smells fishy to me too, Tom. I still want to know why he would get in the car with his cousins he never met before at 1:30 in the morning. That's a good question. Why would the cousin give a fake name? Good question. I saw something on Facebook we're going to look at, which made me question some things. I'm not exactly sure what I was looking at, but I'm going to pull it up and see if we can figure it out. Cat Ride said his poor sweet mama, she knew immediately she knows her child. I know, and I feel so bad for her. It's good to see you. Let's see. Says, hold on. Okay. So the clues left were telling. They left at 1:30 in the morning. Allegedly, drugs were involved. Dropped off on the side of a highway, not seen for a week. Only 18 years old. Backpack, cell phone found. No one disappears. A body has been found in a retention pond, the last known location for Giovonni. So was the retention pond right by where his book bag and his phone were found, I'm wondering? Decomposing and Mel, we wait, and it was him. If it is Gio, was this an accident? His cousins who picked him up at 1:30 a.m. gave a sketchy report of what happened the night Gio was last seen. The investigation is ongoing and no manner of death has been determined. Gio was on vacation with his mom and stepfather in Florida from North Carolina when he was picked up by his cousins in Inglewood. They were supposed to be driving to Mims, but his backpack and cell phone were found in Bradenton, not exactly on the way. And then that's where we looked at that picture. This picture. Because if you're going to Mims, you're going to be going the other way, and he was found in Bradenton out of the way. I wonder if the retention pond is right there. Close to where, I mean, obviously it's going to be close to where his backpack and phone were discovered, but like, is it like literally on the bank of the pond? Because if his backpack and everything was found like literally on the bank of the pond, then that would tell me they sat it there and threw his body in the pond, which would mean he was dead in the car with his cousins. So it's the grandmother's fiance's family, I believe. There is no sane person on earth going into a retention pond willingly. I agree. You thought of Shannon Gilbert's 911 call. Whew, that phone call is traumatic. All right, this reads, the mother of Giovonni Pelletier confirmed that the body found near the area where his cell phone was last pinged is indeed Giovonni, according to a Facebook post. So it might be just the post that I had just shown you, but we'll watch this and
The
see.
search for a missing Fuquay-Varina teen is sadly officially over. A sheriff's office in Florida has confirmed a body found in a retention pond off a major interstate was 18-year-old Giovonni Pelletier. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Eric Miller. Pelletier was last seen in Brevard County, Florida on August 1st. His phone last pinged in Manatee County, near where his body was found yesterday. WRL's Kirsten Clark is live in Fuquay-Varina. Kirsten, Giovanni's family says this is their worst nightmare.
Eric, mom, help. Those are the last words Giovonni Pelletier's mother read from her son in a text message he sent her on August 1st.
So Snarky Pants said his bio dad is in prison. He went to meet his dad's family. So somebody on his biological dad's side of the family, not biological dad, because biological dad is in prison, is what I'm getting. Oh, you're good. You're fine, Dainty. I don't see how they're saying it's out of the way. Most likely would have taken I-75 to 14. Bradenton is off I-75. Okay, so do you know the area, JoJo's? We're going to go right back to that. So it makes sense if you're leaving Inglewood to go to Mims that you would go up this way and then over instead of going like straight up. Well, I mean, straight there, like across Florida. It makes more sense that you would go up here and then over. I think his own family cousins did this to him, allegedly. I'm wondering, too. It is a crying shame that Stearns didn't end up in a retention pond. The news said grandmother's fiance's family. That's what we read in the article, I think. Yeah, that time of night, you would run the interstate. So, okay, the interstate's going to make you go up this way and then over? Interesting. Hey, Heather. Heather Ibarra Taylor, thank you for being here, said yes. Okay, so if it's on the way, then maybe it's not as suspicious. Thank you guys for that. Let's pull back up this article. Yeah, that's the one.
Now, a week later, the family learned of that shocking discovery, and they're still wondering what happened leading up to the death of their beloved teen.
A desperate search for Giovonni Pelletier, ending in heartbreak. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office in Florida were alerted of a body found in a retention pond at the southbound off-ramp of Interstate 75 and State Route 70.
So he was, the cousins said they dropped him off walking along Interstate I-75, and the retention pond was located at an off-ramp of I-75. I want to know if his book bag and phone were found like on the off ramp or like right there by the retention pond, because that's going to tell me something happened in the vehicle with the cousins. They stopped there, they dropped his book bag and his phone and put him in the retention pond. A lot of people say, yeah, I think the article we read said grandma's fiance's family. So paternal cousins would be cousins on the dad's side. I don't know either. And I didn't see anything labeled retention pond either, but according to the news article, or the segment we're hearing, it's on an off-ramp on I-75.
I set out to learn more about the days-long search for Giovonni leading to the discovery. Billy Lane is the president of We Are the Essentials, a group of former law enforcement and military members who helped search for Gio alongside his family.
We wanted to focus in Inglewood, which was near where he was last seen when family members picked him up.
In our interview, Lane described the details of the search.
We started our search there. We worked up from the house. We tried GPS and see what path they would have taken. We identified an area where a road where they would have traveled.
Lane tells me it was an emotional time for Giovanni's family, but he says they pressed on through their pain and tears only to discover the worst. Giovanni's mother confirmed the discovery in this Facebook post, emphasizing that it was family who found her son.
For those people who are not trained and who hasn't dealt with death before, this is traumatic. And, and it should not have happened. They should not have been the one who had to locate their loved one.
Lane says he did see law enforcement searching at times, but he says their resources are often limited. But questions about what happened to Giovonni Pelletier are still unanswered.
I agree with you, Snarky Pants. Snarky said, in my opinion, they didn't have bad intentions when they picked him up, but things went wrong and they handled things wrong. I think that's exactly what happened. Something happened in that vehicle. Shit went south real fucking quick, and then something happened. I think he died in the vehicle with his cousins as of right now.
It wasn't like he had Alzheimer's. He wasn't dementia. There was no reason that once he left the vehicle, could not have reached out to somebody, and should have and would have reached out to somebody.
The cause of death is still unknown. Manatee County Sheriff's deputies say an autopsy is scheduled for tomorrow. We are still working to learn as much as we can about this investigation. Live in Fuquay Arena, Kirsten Clark, WRAL News.
Okay, so now we're going to go to this other article I have on him. And this reads, I don't remember what it's titled, but I saved it. It says, after the decomposing body of a teenager was found in the area where Giovonni Pelletier, they said it correctly, but I'll continue to say Pelletier, went missing on August 1st. The teen's mother confirmed in a Facebook post that the body was of her son. Earlier, police in Manatee County, Florida, where Pelletier went missing, had confirmed on August 8th that a body had been found, but its identity remained unconfirmed. On Saturday, Giovonni Pelletier's mother, Bridget Pelletier, confirmed in a Facebook post that the body found in Manatee County belonged to Pelletier. The case remains under investigation, and the Manatee County Sheriff's Office is yet to reveal the cause of death. Quote, my son was recently found after a desperate search by our family alone, and we are still facing an active investigation into his death, unquote, she wrote. Quote, I am living every parent's worst nightmare, trying to find the strength to give him the goodbye he deserves. We ask that you please respect our privacy as we try to navigate this for his 4 younger siblings. The 18-year-old, originally from Fuquay Marina, North Carolina, went missing in Englewood, Florida, where he was vacationing with his family. He was last seen at 1:30 a.m. on August 1st as he left with his cousins to visit relatives in Brevard County. I don't know if that's true. Oh, I guess Brevard County would be Mims. Okay. His body was found in a retention pond near Interstate 75 and State Road 70 on Friday in Manatee County, Florida. So again, here it definitely tells us that the retention pond was found near Interstate 75. I think that, yeah, something happened in that vehicle. It went south and they dumped him. I vaguely remember the cousins possibly lying about the vehicle they drove that night, but I'm not 100% on that. Lord have mercy. It's near Walmart and Lowe's. Okay. Yeah, just going down to enjoy a distant family and dies. Like, how does that happen? The area was close to where Peltier's mobile phone and backpack were found a day after he went missing. He had sent a text to his mother and other relatives seeking help just before he went missing. Fished out a pond near where missing teen's bag was found. We'll click on that. On that fateful night of August 1st, when Pelletier went missing, he had left in a car with his cousins from the family of his estranged biological father. He was last seen as he left in a vehicle with the cousins for the trip to Brevard County. However, shortly after the trip, he sent messages seeking help to his mother, aunt, and grandfather. As a result, Peltier's cousins have come under the scanner with possible details behind his disappearance and death. However, the authorities in Florida have not revealed any details behind the probe. The body was found after the family organized a search for the teen, in which as many as 12 locals volunteered. Okay. The other article reads, I'll probably scan this one. Manatee County Sheriff Rick Wells confirmed that the body appears to be that of a man. A breakthrough might be coming in the case. Said on Friday, a body had been found not far from where the missing teen's backpack was located. Okay. The body was found in a retention pond at the southbound off-ramp of Interstate 75 and State Road 70. Manatee County is near Bradenton, Florida, along Interstate 75. Pelletier was with his family before the disappearance. At this time, the cops had not confirmed. Normally, in these kind of investigations, you have somebody disappears, you have no leads, you don't know who was last with them, you don't know where they were last, and you're kind of starting from scratch, he said. Okay, that's all that's on that one. Let me see. We're going to go on Facebook in just a second. I think these are about Rebekah. Okay, let me just get on Facebook. Let's pull this up. I don't understand why he would go off with somebody in the early hour mornings with people he didn't know. I don't either. That's weird to me. Very sad situation. I don't think the mom will ever get over that text. I don't think she will either. I couldn't imagine. Like, could you imagine getting a text message and getting a phone call that you didn't see and you didn't hear the phone call and then finding out that your child is dead after being with family members? My heart goes out to her. I don't even, I mean, I wouldn't even know where to begin. I drove 700 miles to meet my estranged father's family. They welcomed me. Cousins are claiming, oh, whoa. Cousins are claiming he pulled a knife on them. What? Really? Where'd you find that? Oh, thank you, Nana Rocks, for hitting the thumbs up. Y'all, please hit the thumbs up. Young people just don't want to realize danger is everywhere, I guess, even with your own family members. Let me know where you found that at, Dandy. If you found it on X or Facebook, we're looking. That was August 8th. Okay. So Giovonni Pelletier is starting a petition demanding the FBI's help in the investigation of what happened to him. It involves multiple counties, involves suspected gang affiliation, and may include interstate. Let me put this up. This is on Facebook. I don't believe everything I read on Facebook. Okay, so it's just speculation. The New York Post. What's the title of the article? Let me see if I can pull it up on Google. Gotta spell his name right. Actually, I'll probably be able to find it on my phone better. Okay, the first article that comes up. Hold on just a minute. We're going to read the first article that came up. I'm going to see if there's one that specifically says knife in the title, but okay, let's see. Okay, this is what came up when I typed that in. Stop it. Lord Jesus. Decomposing body of missing teen Giovonni Pelletier, who sent chilling final mom help text, found sheriff family. A decomposing body has been found in the search for North Carolina teen who vanished after sending his mom an alarming text message pleading mom help. The remains of Giovonni Pelletier, 18, were discovered Friday in a retention pond off of I-75 in Florida, where he traveled to connect with his estranged dad and family. His body was formally identified Saturday afternoon, according to the Manatee County Sheriff's Office.
Was it in his clear mind? It was scary as hell, I'm not going to lie, but I fought back. I didn't see any weapons in his hands. I felt like it was my own.
Whoa. Okay, that's something else. The teen's mother said she's living every parent's worst nightmare, angrily noting that her son was found by a private eye in a swampy area that authorities said they'd already scoured. That's irritating. My son was recently found after a desperate search by our family alone, and we are still facing an active investigation into his death, she wrote on Facebook. I'm living every parent's worst nightmare, trying to find the strength to give him the goodbye he deserves. Authorities had searched the swampy area close to the southbound off-ramp near State Road 70, where the teenager's body was ultimately discovered not long after he went missing on August 1st, but it was a private investigation group hired by the family that found Pelletier's remains on Friday. Detectives have preliminarily determined the body to be that of the missing Pelletier, pending further testing, according to the sheriff's office. An autopsy is scheduled. Lordy Jesus. Pelletier was vacationing with his mother and other relatives in Inglewood before he was picked up by three cousins around 1:30 a.m. on August 1st. On the way, the cousins claimed the teenager started acting erratically before they pulled over to the side of the road, and he pulled out a knife. So, again, the cousins claim the teenager started acting erratically before they pulled over to the side of the road, and he pulled out a knife. I need to get it. I was saying that earlier. Hey, Becky. Good to see you. When he pulled the knife on him, that's when they kicked him out of the car and left him on the side of the road. That's interesting. Body. Okay. Posted August 11th. Okay, thank you. If he got high, let's say they were smoking weed or something and he freaked out and was having basically a bad trip and he pulled out a knife and said, "Mom, help me." That's concerning. I mean, he could have been trying to protect himself and freaking out, or the cousins could have been doing some fishy shit. I mean, if we go back over here and we read that involves suspected gang affiliations, like that makes me question whether they were like getting him high because, let's just for example use the blood in the Crips. Was he a blood and they were Crips and they knew that? And like they had been, it said that they had talked on FaceTime and been contacted through Facebook, talking to each other, et cetera, et cetera. So are they so affiliated with the gang that they knew he was a blood and they were Crips, for example? I don't know. And they got him in the car and they were like, Crip gang for life or something, and like got him high and threatened to kill him. And then he's freaking out and pulls out a knife trying to protect himself and they kill him anyway. God, I hope not. Hey, Cara. I don't believe the whole story either. Yeah, they attack each other if they're from different gangs. Let me go back here and make sure there's nothing else. So again, on the way, the cousins claimed the teenagers started acting erratically before they pulled over to the side of the road, and he pulled out a knife, according to the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. But again, where they pulled over on the side of the road and his backpack and phone were found, his body was found right there in a retention pond. He sent 2 texts to his mother at this time, including one begging her mom help, and tried calling and FaceTiming her before reaching out to various relatives for help. A $10,000 reward was previously offered for information leading to Giovanni's discovery or an arrest and conviction. Now we'll go back over here to this Facebook post where we're diving into complete rumors and speculations, possibly. Okay. The case spans multiple counties, involves suspected gang affiliations, and may include interstate elements, all reasons why the FBI should be involved. Without proper investigation, key evidence may be lost forever, and those responsible may never be held accountable. Allowing misinformation and investigative gaps to stand sets a dangerous precedent for every missing person case in Florida and beyond. The clock is ticking. Evidence degrades, memories fade, and the trail grows colder with each passing day. We demand an immediate, thorough, and transparent investigation with FBI involvement to ensure justice for Giovonni and safety for our communities. His life mattered. His story matters. The public must act now to demand truth, accountability, and justice. Sign and share this petition to demand FBI and a full, transparent investigation. Let's make sure Giovanni's story is heard across the nation. I'm going to copy this link. I obviously can't sign it right now because I don't want to be putting my name out there, but I will try to sign it maybe anonymously. There's the link to that if you guys want to sign it. Okay. It says, in loving memory, Giovonni Pelletier, gone from our sight, but never from our hearts. Okay. His family found his body themselves, not the police. Giovonni Pelletier texted his mother, "Help me," before he disappeared. Medical examiner said there's no sign of trauma. Please stop with all the false stories about his death. His family's fed up with the lies. People sit down making up stuff to write on Facebook because they know how gullible people are to read a comment on Facebook from someone who didn't even graduate high school. The cousin said that during the ride, Giovanni started acting erratically before they pulled over to the side of the road and he pulled out a knife. He sent 2 text messages to his mother at the time, including one begging her mom help, and he tried calling and FaceTiming her before reaching out to various other relatives for help. His backpack and phone were found by the side of the road later the same day. The cousins gave conflicting stories, some claiming they smoked weed with him and he panicked, others saying there was a fight and they left him on the side of the road in Bradenton. Police said he got out of the car near State Road 70 in Manatee County, but even their accounts don't fully match. Through all of this, only 20 people showed up to search for him today. So now there's allegations that they smoked weed and he freaked out, but also that he pulled out a knife and there was a fight. Cousins are lying. The cousins are, in fact, known liars. So anything they say is probably a lie. I agree. I agree with that too, Becky. No matter how it happened, it's really sad. Giovanni's mother said 21 minutes after he drove off with his 3 cousins in a white Chevy Malibu, he texted her, "Mom, help." 21 minutes later, he couldn't reach his mom, Bridget. The mother didn't see the message until 6:20 when she awoke. The mother's phone last pinged Giovanni's location near Highway in Manatee County, Florida, and he was found there. The mother thinks it all doesn't make sense. If there's one thing I learned in life, it's when something doesn't make sense, it's usually a lie. Oh my God. Allegedly, his girlfriend posted this, and it says, I genuinely am in shock right now. Not once did I think our road would ever come to an end, especially like this. You were the sweetest person to me and loved me unconditionally. You looked out for me even when we weren't together. You have been such an important person in my life since the day I met you over 3 years ago. The fact that I will never hear your voice and talk to you again is tearing me apart. The great memories and inside jokes, the way you made me feel comfortable no matter what, the way you always made me feel heard and loved. Every moment I think about you, I break down. I miss you. I miss your voice and your comfort. I genuinely never thought I'd lose you, especially like this. I love you. Rest easy, sweet boy. That's so sad. Yeah, I think something happened in Manatee too. I think that there's something that happened in that vehicle. They said he got out on the side of the road, but I think that they put him out there in the retention pond because the retention pond is right off of a ramp, an off ramp. I think that he was dead in the vehicle and they put him in the retention pond and left his book bag and a cell phone on the side of the road. And then if it's true that they lied about the vehicle they were driving, well, why are you going to lie about the vehicle you're driving? There's only one reason that comes to mind for me, and that's because there's blood in the vehicle that you don't want the police to find. The 13-year-old missing from Manatee County? Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, I need to send Sheriff Grady down there to help. No, 13-year-old. Okay. Oh, don't you start this with me today, mouse. Okay. Hold on. Okay, Giovonni Pelletier, body found in Florida, believed to be missing teen, persons of interest identified. That's not the cousin. Let me see what this is. Yeah, can't reach this page is what it says. Oh my goodness. His mother wrote, "My heart will continue to ache every day for the rest of my life because I couldn't be there to protect my son. I will blame myself and without the need for commentary or opinions of others who didn't even know us. Please stop spreading misinformation about my baby and just let our family get through this. I can't put into words the depth of the gratitude we feel for the family, friends, and community that doesn't even know our family. I'm using everything I have left in my soul to continue to fight for Giovonni, and I hope everyone knows this fight can't be done alone. Giovonni Giovonni didn't deserve this, and I promise you, baby, that mama will never give up finding answers for you. Okay, this might be... I think this is what I was looking at earlier. It says persons of interest last seen with Giovonni. We have now confirmed the names of the individuals who were last seen with Giovonni before his disappearance. These names come directly from the family. Let me write this down. Zachariah L. Cummings, 37-year-old white male. Zachariah Cummings. 37. Damn, he's my age. No relation to Giovonni, has a 4-page criminal record. Then we got Latrell Hearns, Jalen Berry. At this time, these individuals are persons of interest as they were the last known people to have been with Giovonni. We are awaiting the results of the public records request, which will provide further details about statements and law enforcement's investigation. The family is in deep grief and mourning, but they remain committed to finding the truth and ensuring justice for Giovonni. Law enforcement failed him. Now we must hold them and everyone involved accountable. So, yeah, this is what I was looking for. I couldn't see what these were on my phone, but I think it's the criminal records that she was talking about. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is going to be Zachariah Cummings. Now, I don't know if these were the people. That's just what's being said. Oh, yeah. Sheriff Grady, yeah. How is he a suspect then, not a cousin? I don't know. Yeah. We can look at that. Okay, let me get real close to my computer because it's hard. I couldn't see it on my phone. So we got, I think this whole page is traffic violations until we get down to the fourth one and it says county eviction. Then we got Zachariah Cummings for stalking, domestic violence with children. Oh, wow. Okay. Had to back up. This one right here, domestic violence with children, and then a small claims court. All of these are traffic infractions. So that one's 2014, 2000. It's either 15 or 25. I can't tell. 2014 is the stalking. 2017 is domestic violence with children, and 2017 is a small claims court. He was the petitioner in the stalking, defendant in all the other ones. Okay. I mean, all of this is Zachariah Cummings. I don't know if this is him. Again, this is just on Facebook. I haven't validated it. These are all traffic infractions. Yeah, traffic infractions. All of that is traffic infractions. 2010, 2011. Yeah, mostly 2010. Those are traffic violations from 2017. This is it just says misdemeanor from 2018. Traffic violation from 2000, it might be 19. Looks like 11 or 19. The rest are traffic infractions. Speed posted. Failure to furnish proof of insurance. Oh, okay. Some of these I can see. Lord, fail to display vehicle registration, driving vehicle on in unlawful condition. Failure to furnish proof of insurance, unlawful speed, 4-lane, speed posted, something speeding plus 30 plus miles an hour, battery domestic violence, disposed by prosecutor, speed posted 15 to 19 miles over, driver's license not carried or exhibited on demand. Let me go back to these other ones to see that first one with the kids. I want to see if it gives me an explanation. Speed posted. Where's the... Nope, these are all traffic. Violation operator failed to display vehicle registration, driving vehicle in unlawful condition, unlawful speed. First one. Nope. Traffic. Okay, it's the second one. Traffic. Lord of mercy, now I can't find it. Ugh, gracious. I'll get it together in a damn minute. Speeding with something. Speed posted. Traffic. Municipal parking, City of California versus Zachariah Cumming. I don't know if this is right, y'all. I don't know why he'd be in California and then in Florida. Failed to yield at a stop sign. Oh, I was way down. Okay, let's try this. Misdemeanor, battery domestic violence on January 7th of 2018. Unlawful speed. Domestic violence with children. It doesn't give me an explanation on that one. Eviction, possession only. Okay, so he's got a crap load of traffic violations. But one of them was out of California. I don't know if this is correct or not. Hey, Orange. Good to see you. Thank you, JoJo. Wait for the results, so I might go to the beach while I wait. I hope everything's good. Cracker Jacks, good to see you. Hey, Cuban. Yeah, it is. Very true. Okay, I'll try to pull it up and see if we can figure it out. Thank you for that, Cara. I think fentanyl was involved, said somebody. I know we can see that guy, but does anyone have pictures of any other people involved? Do we have a picture of him? What is this? Rich, rising, beautiful energy, just saying, I wished and hope my nephew is found safe. But for the people in the back, first of all, it's already hard enough for our family. Got a lot of dysfunctional things we both know we could have worked on when it came how to handle this before it got like this. While my nephew might feel like fuck everybody and is possibly scared and confused, but that don't mean my side of the family did something wrong because he hasn't been found. I understand everybody demands answers and want him found. I asked my family to continue to not be fighting on this app, but for the people who got something to say when I know personally half of y'all don't fuck with us, or two just want to say something because some bullshit and brevered for everybody. I know that's on my page. Respectfully, let everything take its course because God got a plan for everybody. Playing stupid games, get your ass stupid prizes. Okay, well. Whoa. Is that him? Evidently. That looks like that's that guy with Giovonni there in the corner. Bravard. Bravard? Bravard? Oh, wow. I'm so sorry. Connie's sister. That's horrible. They said he's posting like nothing happened. Interesting. Someone asked, "Aren't you going to tell your side of the story?" I replied, "God knows, and that's enough." Oh, really? Okay. Wow. Okay. Let's see. All right. Hold on. Let me send this to myself and we'll talk about Rebekah. Rebekah is a hard one, and I'm going to go ahead and provide a heavy trigger warning. All right, let me mail these to myself. Nope, not the drive. Hold on just a minute. Okay. Well, that's what that says. Was found dead and decomposed after going to his cousin's. I think we've seen that. What is this? I wanted to know what this was. Okay. What was the outcome of the arrest? Why did the man owe money to the cousin? What was the cousin's sentence? Okay. All right. So this is for. Okay, we got Latrell Hearns was allegedly one of the cousins. This is Leonardo Trayvon Hearns. Criminal mischief, less than $200. On August 14th of 2023, Officer Drummond was working uniform patrol for the city of Truittsville Police Department, answering calls for service, and I responded to village at Valencia, Brevard County, Florida, in reference to an in-progress aggravated assault with a firearm. Upon arrival, myself and other units heard a loud bang. We made contact with the defendant, Leonardo Hearns. Leonardo was on the second floor and near apartment number 23. Leonardo was wearing a ski mask on top of his head and was detained. I spoke to the victim, Joshua Father, who said Leonardo was an acquaintance he owed money to. Joshua said Leonardo followed him to his apartment and pulled a handgun out and pointed it at Joshua and told him to go get his money. Joshua was able to run inside his apartment, where Leonardo banged on his door and yelled threats to him. Leonardo ripped Joshua's camera off the door and smashed it on the ground. Leonardo also smashed Joshua's cell phone on the ground that he dropped running away from Leonardo. The handgun was recovered and found to be stolen. Leonardo refused to give a statement. Leonardo is charged with aggravated assault with a firearm and criminal mischief. The charges are also supported by a witness statement. Leonardo was turned over to the Brevard County Sheriff's Office jail. Well, that's not good. If this person is one of the cousins that was found with him, and he does have gang affiliation, and they are from competing gangs, that's not good. Bruh bird. I have to remember that way. Bruh. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Let me see what they're saying about it. It appears that one of the cousins he was with, Trayvon Hearns, has a history. The handgun was recovered. He was charged with aggravated assault. Sheriff Ivy, missing teen never made it to Brevard. This one says the same thing. Zachary Cummins, Latrell Hearns. Jaylene Berry? Need someone to confirm is Jaylene a girl or boy? Let's say that he was being aggressive, started a fight, pulled a knife, whatever. Not even 20 minutes into him being picked up by the cousin and the cousin's two friends, something went terribly wrong in those 20 minutes. To be picked up after 1 a.m., it's already kind of fishy. We believe that Gio was set up and lured to his death. The three people he was with allegedly smoked Mary Jane with Gio. Let's say Gio was acting how they claim. Let's just be honest. They more than likely gave him something other than just Mary Jane for him to act so strange all of a sudden with him being with them for only 20 minutes. No telling what happened. If he started a fight and there was an altercation, why would you ever leave your family member on the side of the road of the interstate in the dark? Why wouldn't you call for help for him? Why would you dump him in a retention pond because he just didn't walk himself there? You left this young man out there for a whole week in this Florida heat to decompose. Shame on all of you. All right, I'm going to jump over to what Cara sent me real quick. And then what is this? Oh, we already got those. Okay. We're going to look at what Cara sent me real quick about the traffic dash cam and then the pictures of where he was found, and then we'll talk about Rebekah. Okay. No, I don't want to. Lordy have mercy. Hold on just a minute. Okay. No. Lord, might help if I got it pulled up first. Oh, God. Really? Okay. All the things I have to go through to share my screen. All right. So this is the area where he was found, I'm assuming on close to this off ramp. And then here it is with the map. So there's a traffic camera right around here. And I'm guessing that's the retention pond. Camera is here. Okay, let me. Whoa. Dang, Cara's in the damn FBI or something. What even is this? Okay. How on earth do I find that damn camera? Lordy Jesus. Okay, I'm looking for Interstate 75. Oh, why did you do that? Okay, here's Interstate 75. River Cub Boulevard. Lord Jesus, in the morning. I-75 at SR 720. Is there a search? Oh my God. Cara. What the fuck? Cara. What the fuck? I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Looking for Tailfeather Way. I think over in this area, maybe? Oh, God almighty, why do you got to do that? Y'all, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. Exit 217 going south. Like, can I not search? Wait a minute. This is it. Yep, that's it right there. Oh, okay. It just brings up traffic from right now. That's the camera. I can't believe I found it. Like, I stumbled upon that one. Let us all take a moment to thank God for that, I suppose. But it's just showing me traffic right now in that area, which she gave me a picture of the traffic from that day. Oh, y'all can't see it. You see it down there in the bottom? Okay. Yeah, that's the live cameras right now. Can we see it from the time that he went missing? Like, I don't know. All right. I'm going to go. Thank you, Car, for that. That was interesting and cool. I don't know how you get access to all these traffic cameras. Damn, I could follow Mr. Speculating to work and be like, I saw you stop at that red light. I probably scared the shit out of him. I didn't know you could do stuff like that. Carr said, I tried looking and couldn't find it, but you see the pond on the map was where he was found. Okay. Right there? Like literally right there? Wow. If that's the case, I think that the cousins just disposed of his body, unfortunately, which is horrific. Like your own damn family member. Things aren't the way they used to be. Good gracious. Oh, let's jump over to YouTube. I did have a couple of videos, but they might be mostly about Rebekah. So we're going to see and probably jump into Rebekah until I can get the FOIA request back on Giovonni. And, Lord, now they got Devil's Den suspect possibly tied to an unsolved Wisconsin killing. Lord have mercy in the morning. Okay, so I don't know if I have anything on Giovanni, but there is a lot on yeah. All right, so we're going to talk about Rebekah now. This is a horrible case. I couldn't even believe it when I was looking at it this morning. So we're going to talk about Rebekah Baptiste. Very sad case. And very triggering. That's awesome, Cara. Do you work at the office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation? With things like this, like I'm a little worried. Car's gonna text me. I saw you stop at that red light. You better get on over there and get away from the side of the road. You ran over the white line. I'll be like, stop it, Cara. All right. Rebekah Baptiste. Let's see. We're going to go back the furthest so you guys can get an understanding of what happened. I know this one's from 3 days ago, but I think it might. Oh, this one's a 24-minute one. This one will probably talk about it.
Okay, welcome into our exclusive streaming update here at ABC 15. I am Ashley Holden, and we also have Melissa Blasius. Both of us have been diving in deep to a really heartbreaking and tragic case of 10-year-old Rebekah Baptiste. We wanted to do this because I've seen so many of your questions on social media, and I felt like we could sit down and talk through those and also talk through a new report that we just got on Friday from the Navajo County Sheriff's Office. And there is so many details. There are so many details in this report that we want to get through and talk about, and again, answer your questions. So I just briefly, before we really start this discussion, Melissa, I want to take people through just kind of the quick facts of this case. So Rebekah Baptiste.
I'm going to give y'all a trigger warning because this case is absolutely horrendous. I clicked on this one because I wanted to give us all a kind of background on the case. Most homicides are done by family members or someone you know, unfortunately, and that is very true. If I had to guess, I would say that the cousins are most definitely involved. And it's just really sad that this boy went down there to visit his family and then ends up deceased, first of all. And then second of all, you find out that he's with his cousins. Third, you find out that he texts mom asking for help and proceeded to call other members of the family at 3:00 in the morning, showing you that it's not that they just got into a fight. He was legitimately scared for some reason enough to call, parents or somebody at 3:00 in the morning, because that doesn't happen unless like you're really scared. And then fourth, to find out that they'd only been together for 21 minutes. Fifth, he ends up dead. Like, it's horrendous. I'm keeping his family in my thoughts and prayers, and I hope he gets the justice that he deserves. Yeah, so this case I'm just learning about today with you guys, but what I've seen is pretty horrible. So her name was Rebekah Baptiste, and she was 10 years old.
She was 10 years old, and we know that there was a 911 call that police met Rebekah's family at an intersection in Holbrook, Arizona. And what they found there was Rebekah, who, according to reports, police say she wasn't breathing. She was severely injured. She was eventually taken to a hospital and then transported here to the Valley to Phoenix Children's Hospital, where she passed away 3 days later. So this all started on July 27th, and Rebekah passed on July 30th. We know that her dad, Richard Baptiste, and his girlfriend, Anicia Woods, are in custody. They've been charged with first-degree murder and child abuse. And we have been slowly getting some of these reports, the 911 calls, and talking to people that Rebekah knew. So we have been able to talk to her school, Empower College Prep. We've also been able to talk to her mom and grandma, who live here in the Valley. They did not have custody of Rebekah and her siblings at this time. And before we go in depth, before we start this conversation, we want to play you some of that 911 call from July 27th and also some of our interview with mom and grandma. I do want to note they asked us not to show their face during this interview, so that's what you'll see here.
She ran away today, and when the neighbor found her, she's just been completely unresponsive. Are you waiting for EMS? I'm waiting for them because I'm trying to get her breath.
Okay, she sounded irritated in the 911 call, and then, to come out the gate saying she ran away today and the neighbor found her, like, that's already setting off alarm bells. I'm going to replay that real quick.
So that's what you'll see here.
She ran away today,
and when the neighbor found her, she's just been completely unresponsive. That first red flag.
Found her, she's just been completely unresponsive. Are you waiting for EMS? I'm waiting for them because I'm trying to get her breath.
Okay, I'm waiting for them because I try to give her breath, which you could be irritated if you feel like 911 is taking too long and you're trying to breathe for the child, but there's no emotion in her voice. It's very flat. There's no tears. I'm not liking it. And again, if you want to talk about the headlines, we already know that it's just a horrendous case. Dolly said he barely knew his cousins and then disposed of right there. You're right. Statistically, highly probable someone you knew. Talking about Giovonni Pelletier. Yeah. She was absolutely precious. So adorable. And it's like, I don't know, man. It's weird that all these children keep on dying and it's people he's supposed to be taking care of them. I just can't.
I'm mad. I'm so angry. They hurt her so bad. If they didn't want her, they didn't need to keep her. They didn't need to keep them. She did everything right. We've always told her, if you're being hurt, find an adult you trust and tell them. It is a tragedy, but nobody's talking about how that little girl ran. She ran her heart and soul off to get help.
That's real emotion right there, and that's so sad to hear, especially when they reference her ran to get help, and still ended up dead. That's so sad.
Need to remember her as a hero because she's the bravest person I know.
Wow.
Wow. Just a sweet, sweet little girl who whose death has been so tragic. Tell me a little bit, Ashley, about you did talk to the mom. Now the mom does not have custody. Did not have custody of Rebekah, had not had for quite some time, years and years. So dad was the one who had custody, and probably what we kind of saw play out in this report is a little bit about the history of this family and how there had been some ongoing issues, some concerning issues for quite some time.
Yeah. We learned in the report that according to Anicia Woods, which is Richard Baptiste's girlfriend, she says that the family had 5 caseworkers. It was her who you could hear in that 911 call. And we actually read in this report that Richard Baptiste says that they did have contact with DCS, that there were different reports of suspected abuse, and he claims that they were all unsubstantiated.
5. Okay, so she said 5 different caseworkers, not just 5 different calls, but 5 different caseworkers. Yeah, why are we having 5 different case workers? That's crazy. I wonder how many calls specifically there were.
And this has been a focus of our reporting because we have heard from Rebekah's school that they called DCS 12 times from November 2023 to January 2025. Concerned for
November 2023 to January 2025. So in a year and a half, the damn school called 12 times. How was she still in that house with those people? What the Sam hell is going on here? Absolutely not. What the damn hell?
She said, something ain't right. I said, oh man. She said, oh man.
I don't even know what to play to that. What, how the fuck is the school calling 12 times and the child's still in the house? And she had siblings. What in the Sam hell? Well, I would think 5 different investigations, but if the school alone called 12 times, that's 12 different investigations. I've heard the fakest 911 calls. I do believe one of our members is an ex-911 operator. I won't call you, and I can't remember which one, but that can't be easy. I bet operators can tell so much from a call. Oh, yeah. You think about how many 911 calls go into an area just in a day. I'm shocked as well. There is something that's not right. This is fishy as fuck.
Not only Rebekah, but also her siblings as well. And it was not only then, we've heard from Phoenix police that they responded. Yep. There were 5 incidents that they've listed out for us, 4 in the last 2 years. And they say that their officers also contacted DCS each time. And we have gotten a response from DCS. There's kind of been a back and forth, Melissa. And we talked last time we did something like this about that criteria. So talk a little bit about what DCS said.
Sure. Well, DCS said at first when the school called, and they said they called 12 times dating back to late 2023, that about either Rebekah or her siblings who were in the home. And what DCS told us is that they only had record of 5 in the last year or so, and only 1 raised to the level where they kind of took a report and looked into it. And
wait a minute. I put it on 125 so we could get through it a little quicker. I'm going to back that up in normal.
Siblings who were in the home. And what DCS told us is that they only had record of 5 in the last year or so, and only 1 raised to the level where they kind of took a report.
So they only had 5 calls in the past year, and 1 only raised to the level that we need to take an actual report. But the school feels the need to call. Like, is the school just calling because they're wearing flip-flops and it's cold outside? I mean, what are we doing? I watched a video of a situation where a child was begging for CPS help because they were living in roach-infested homes, and CPS said they can't do anything to help. That is really sad. They do talk very slow. When you hear so many on TV, you can tell fake and fake tears. Oh, yeah. Fort White, Florida, they were adopting. Oh, I was looking into that one, but I haven't dug into it very deeply. That's the one where they had the kids under the damn bed in the cages or some shit. Yeah, that case is crazy. I'm not going into that one. But it's insane as well. So 5 calls in the past year and only 1 we need to take a report about, but the school feels inclined enough to call. So, like, why are we not taking the school seriously?
And looked into it. And they have some criteria, but it's fairly basic criteria. You have to allege some abuse or neglect. You have to be able to identify where you might be able to find the child or the adult involved in it. The child has to be under 18, has to live in Arizona. So we've really asked DCS to provide us all of this information about all the calls that went throughout the last few years about this particular family and what they investigated and what they concluded. What we don't know at this point is when they moved from Maricopa County, from the Phoenix area, to rural Apache County in northeastern Arizona, if DCS or authorities had any idea that they were out there and had tabs on them over the last month or so of Rebekah's life. That's some of the unanswered questions we have at this point. But we do see in the report, and Ashley, maybe you can fill us in on a little bit of this, is that the dad, Richard, and the girlfriend, Anicia, explain what they say happened over that past month in Apache County.
So we don't know if the case is transferred from county to county, which is a problem and needs to be reformed with CPS as well, I think. That too, they can't comms back. Oh, yeah. Knowing voices and annotation was a good part of knowing if my officer was more stressed than they were saying.
Yeah, and I want to say, they talk about periods of time where Rebekah was running away, and I want to set the scene for where they were living, which was rural Apache County, in a desert area in a yurt. And throughout this new report, we hear kind of the living conditions of that yurt, which includes not reliable electricity. At one point in the report, it sounds like they don't have any electricity. And then in another, it says they rely on kind of solar or some sort of unreliable source for any kind of electricity. They don't have a shower. Anicia Wood says they don't have a fridge in the home. And so that's a little bit of where they're living in this yurt in Apache County. And they say that Rebekah had run away. The third time was the time that they say that she was found by a neighbor in a wash. And this is on July 27th. But the other times in the report, what they tell detectives is she had run away several other times. They had found her. And each time it sounds like they don't call law enforcement. They use neighbors as they sought to find her. And then.
Okay. Now, the child's running away several different times at the age of 10 years old. That's a big red flag. Maybe 13, 14, 15, 16 and on up. I still think you would inform police, but I don't know. It gets difficult when you get into the teenage years because you've got the hormones, the puberty and all that, and it could be just, a child not wanting to live under the rules of the parents anymore. But she had ran away several times at the age of 10 or younger. Yeah, that's a big issue. And the yurt. Let's talk about yurts because let me tell you, I'm very much about being off grid. But you can't do that without a TV and without okay. So basically it's like that's like a one built. I don't know if it looked more like that or more like these, but it's like a tent kind of thing. They're usually bigger. Trying to find a good one. This is a good one if I can pull it up. I I'm very much about off-grid living and all of that. But when you've got a bunch of children in the home, you've got to make sure you've got a source of water. Like, even when my husband was living in Arkansas in the mountains, and like, they were building the house, and I've told y'all before, like, they were staying in the house while it was being built. So there was like, the studding for the wall, the 2x4s, and that was it. And they were, living in the house, and like literally you could hear the crickets because there was nothing in between you and the outside. They still had like a pump that you could pump for water. Okay. You can get a camp shower that's going to provide you with hot showers for the kids and things like that. Usually this is what a yurt looks like now, what they're doing with the yurts and things for children. But I mean, not for children, for families. And you can have solar power, granted, but when you've got children in that type of situation, especially small children, you've got to make sure you've got a reliable source of water, and you've got a refrigerator. Or having a refrigerator is a big thing. Like, you're going to have some type of electricity to make sure you have these items for children. And then being in the desert in a yurt and no air conditioning, maybe that would be okay if it was just the adults, but not children. A lot of children of that age, I don't know about that. At least they weren't homeschooling, or they would have no record. Don't come from, oh no, I'm homeschooling as well, but I don't know. It's a hard place to be, because like I said, I'm very much for off-grid living and all that. But when you have children, especially young children, you've got to figure out a way to keep electricity going for refrigeration and to freeze food, for refrigeration, to make sure that you have what you need for the children. It takes money, believe it or not, to do those things. I don't know. I don't like it. People vacationing in rent yurts don't hear people living 24/7 in one. I've seen it, but like even the people on YouTube I've seen that do it, like there's one group that I'm thinking about, okay, specifically, and they do have kids, but they bought like a house, and they stay in the house, and then like the kids will go outside and play in the yurt, or have friends over and spend the night in the yurt, and they like do classes in the yurt, and like they had a generator or something, so they had refrigeration and things for the kids, and there was running water. It's a sticky situation 3 times. So why aren't people stepping in? The law doesn't work, and I couldn't just be a neighbor and hand a girl that's abused back without something happening. Yeah, it takes away from the wonderful thing you're doing and sacrifice. It does, and it sucks. When we first bought our property, no house on it, we built a shed, a little 4x8 shower shed, had 320-gallon water tank we filled at a local state park, small water pump and heater, no kids in. But even that is better, you know what I mean? And like like I said, the ones I'm thinking about have a generator, and they make sure that the children have what they need. And then you put it in the desert where it's been like 110 degrees, you got to be able to run an air conditioner, especially with children. I mean, you could do it as adults by yourself, but not with children, especially that young. And again, I go back to running away so many times at the age of 10. Yeah, you got to be able to, like, the kids got to be able to have a bath. Right. Yeah, if it's just you, it's one thing, but not with kids. Little kids too. I mean, any kids really, but yeah, I don't like it. And I hate that people are going out there and doing these things and taking away from like the people who are trying to do it legitimately, and the people who do make sure there's like a generator and running water for small kids.
And what's concerning to detectives, it seems, is how they describe her when she comes back. At one point, it sounds like she is having problems walking. She can't sip from a straw. And another concerning point is they mention a situation at a Phoenix apartment before they moved to rural.
Excuse me? She's having trouble walking when she's coming back? The fuck? No, I'm not helping you look for your child, finding her. She's having trouble fucking walking. And then I'm getting hell to the motherfucking no. You're going to explain to me why she's not walking, and I'm still probably going to call somebody or having trouble walking. And you're going to explain it to me after I ask her in motherfucking private why she's not or having trouble walking. Motherfucking call the police. Call the motherfucking police on me for asking your child why she's having trouble walking. I fucking want you to. The fuck you mean? I'm going to take her back. The fuck?
Apache County. And it says that Rebekah jumped out of a 2-story window.
Okay. Stop it. I backed it up. Stop it. Children do overheat a lot faster than adults. She's jumping out of 2-story fucking windows? Hell to the no. I ain't taking her back. Hey, Vero. But we were also driving a semi at the time and running teams, so gone 6 to 8 weeks at a time and home for 1 week and then back out again once we came off the road. See, that's a whole different thing, JoJo's. Like, you got the semi, you're able to go to truck stops and things and take showers. That's acceptable, I think. Jesus. I backed it up.
And another concerning point is they mention a situation at a Phoenix apartment before they moved to rural Apache County. And it says that Rebekah jumped out of a 2-story window. And I do think that it's important, I was going back through this report. It's over 30 pages and there's so many details because this is all coming from Richard Baptiste and Anicia Wood's interview with detectives. And so one of the times that she runs away, it's noted, they tell detectives that she had been hiding in this tree, and this is during the Apache County when they're living there. She had been hiding in a tree. She was picking and choosing adults to go ask to live with them. That is what they tell detectives. And when detectives ask, well, why, they feel like it's maybe the living conditions in the yurt, and at least that's what's listed in the report.
And I thought about that, like, it's hard, right? Because the family's living in a yurt and you're thinking, okay, well, the child doesn't want to be there because they're living in a yurt. But again, like, I'm thinking about CPS in my area. If I took my kids and was living in a yurt and we didn't have running water, a refrigerator, and things like that, they would be like, oh no, you can't live like that. Like, this is not acceptable. You can't do that. I don't know if it's different in Arizona. I would think it wouldn't be because it gets so much hotter out there. I mean, it's humid here, but I heard it was like 110 degrees the other day. Homelessness, I've heard, is an issue. Okay. So it's like you would think maybe the child's running away because they don't want to be in a yurt or something like that. But she's jumping out of 2-story windows and like hiding in a tree and asking different adults if she can come live with them. At that point, as a CPS social worker or beforehand, I would say, look, like, I get that you're trying to live in a yurt and things like that, but obviously it's not working. And at this point, it's not only the safety of the child that's becoming an issue due to the heat and not having refrigerated food and things like that, but the mental health of this child is becoming a serious factor, and the yurt situation is directly correlated to her mental health issues that she's having, because everything going on, if they didn't know about the abuse, it would be by proxy because of the living situations in the yurt. So I would say, I don't know what y'all need to do, but y'all have got, a week, 2 weeks at the most to figure this out, and we're going to have to take her and place her somewhere else. I don't know. CPS effectiveness depends on funding and training. I agree with that. I lived off grid. If I lived off grid, I'd have solar power, water tank, and heat pump. In my opinion, is sustainable, and you have everything you need. And I agree with that. Like the fact that we don't even have any kind of way to get water. Like camp showers are like $200, and you hook a propane tank up to it, and it'll heat the water so you can take a shower. And there's ways to like run them inside so you have an actual shower. You could put a fucking like shower curtains at Dollar Tree are $1.25, okay? And you could damn use sticks to build like a little box area with a shower head with shower curtains around it, shaped like a U kinda, to where the children could take showers, but the refrigerator would be an issue, but you would have to do something.
The one of the really heartbreaking details here is just in this 30-page report, and we won't go into all of them. This little 10-year-old girl had injuries from head to toe, very severe injuries. When the dad and the girlfriend were asked about them, they kind of say, "Oh, well, she used to get upset and throw herself in the bushes," or, "Oh, she's all scraped up. She must have caught herself trying to go through a barbed wire fence, or she fell in a wash." And police very quickly realized, the sheriff's deputies who are looking into this, that the severity of her injuries don't match the explanation for the injuries.
Okay, we got a child running away, hiding in a tree, asking other adults if she can live with them, and the parents are blaming it on the yurt. But then we have injuries. The injuries aren't matching the explanations for the injuries, and the child's still allowed to stay there.
And then there's discussion as well about how dehydrated she was. And Anicia, who in the report says that she was formerly a CNA, says that she was even having a hard time taking in water. And that she tried to get it to her in like a straw, but then she had to kind of pour it in her mouth. And you just question, what was all going on here. And I don't think we'll ever know exactly all that went on.
And she's dehydrated. See, that again, if a child is brought to me dehydrated, you're living in a yurt in Arizona with no air conditioning and all of that. No.
In that yurt in rural Apache County. But there are some very deep concerns about not only what she went through and leading up to her death, but also what her two younger brothers, who were not only in the yurt, but in the car as they're trying to give her CPR driving into Holbrook, what they had to witness that day. As we talk back about that day, July 27th, when they did bring the girl seeking help from police or paramedics, they had said that these times that they thought she had kind of run away, seeking out neighbors or somebody else to live with, that they never called the police on any of the times that she ran away, and that they didn't call police immediately when she came back, or they alleged that she had come back from running away, right, in such bad condition, saying that they didn't think they could get cell service out there.
Yeah.
But the investigators note in the report that they're on the phone with the investigators at the house while they're interviewing dad and the girlfriend in some kind of police facility. And they say they had no problem calling back and forth to the investigators who were out at the yurt on various cell service systems. And so they questioned why, if this truly had been a girl who had tried to run away, as the dad had alleged, that they never called the authorities.
Yeah. And another important thing that they seem to, sprinkle throughout the report is these questions from detectives about what truly happened that day, what was the timeline, and why were some of the alleged actions taken, including they asked them about changing Rebekah's pants before getting her help. They asked about stopping for gas before getting Rebekah help. And
they changed the child's pants before getting her help. And they stopped for gas? Like, you could call 911 and have somebody meet you on the side of the road, even if you're running out of gas. What do you mean? Like, I don't like that. The 911 calls sound like she just found her unresponsive, like on a street or something.
And all these questions are brought up by detectives. Why would you do this if you had a daughter who was clearly in need of emergency services, allegedly gasping for air, who had, they're saying had fallen in this wash and had been found by the neighbors? And so they're asking about each detail, and also about discipline in the home. And this was something, Melissa, that you and I were talking about as well, which we had heard from neighbors at the Phoenix apartment complex that there was concern that the kids were being disciplined by doing physical activity and there was a lack of water. So running laps around the little courtyard that they had. And another part of the report mentions possibly planking as a form of discipline. And
okay. How many times have we heard that, like, you know, making them do physical exercise as a form of punishment? That's ridiculous. Cuban said, "What the fuck? You see that shit and hand her back?" Evidently. Active fire in Nova Scotia right now. Oh my goodness. Just came over. And then you hear that there's a lack of water. I don't understand how we know all these things, but then we're not giving them back. And then, you know, we hear about them doing physical exercise and they're not getting water. And then also the child's dehydrated and she's having to open her mouth and pour water in. Like, and we know all these things and nothing was done sooner.
And so there are all these questions about, you know, what is happening in the home and are they getting access to water? So all of those questions are raised throughout it as well. I do want to play for people. We mentioned the school that told us they reached out to DCS about signs of abuse and neglect, and we talked to those neighbors. Let's hear from some of those people that we spoke with.
A beautiful, beautiful soul. Like, she would literally be the protector of the kids. No child deserves that. Every single neighbor was concerned why the hell they made them run laps for hours without water.
So and you saw that too.
They use it as a form of discipline. How are you guys as a community feeling?
That's at a hotel or apartment complex. She's pissed. I'm like, and I don't understand how the children weren't removed. Like, what the hell is even going on there? Hold on.
No child deserves that. Every single neighbor was concerned why the hell they made them run laps for hours without water.
So and you saw that too.
They use it as a form of discipline. How are you guys as a community feeling?
You feel guilty. They always, can I pet your dog? They always stay a little longer. And like my neighbor pointed out, I think they were asking for help.
We had quite a few staff members share their concern.
So there's the yurt that they were staying in. Okay. Let me see if I can get close. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm not muted because sometimes I forget. Okay. Let me see if I can read what it says. Oh, my broken toe. It hurts. Okay. It says the following information is for the purpose of determining the conditions under which you may be released at this time. You're not required to answer any questions if you feel the answer may be harmful to you. The answers you give to the following questions will be used by the court for the purpose of determining the conditions of your release. However, your answers will be checked against the information supplied by the police, and with the references you yourself given on the form. Any discrepancies may result in higher bail or higher conditions of release. Any information you give may be used against you in this or any other matter. And it is the state of Arizona as a plaintiff versus Richard Daniel Baptiste from Apache County, Arizona. This is background and residence. Richard Daniel Baptiste, place of birth was Chula Vista, California. Present address was in Hunt, Arizona, and they had been there for less than a month. Where else have you lived in the past year and for how long? Phoenix, Arizona, since I was 12. Like, there's nothing. I want to know what that building is beside the yurt. Like, is that a place where we can get water and run a generator for the refrigerator? And it's out there, like, legit in the middle of the desert. Cuban, I know, and that's what drew my attention. I was like, what? Yes. Oh, Southern, you're good. Yeah, they tortured her. She had no toenails. It's bad.
And fear that Rebekah specifically would not come back to the school or return to the school alive.
What were your thoughts when you saw their response?
Initially, it was shock and surprise, but then also not shock and surprise, given how we know the department has unfortunately functioned in the past. We have to.
Hold on, y'all. Was that the days that they called? Hold on.
It was shock and surprise, but then also not shock and surprise, given how we.
Yeah, in the background it says Arizona Department of Child Services. So evidently there was a call. How many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is the 12 calls. So they called November 2nd of 2023. They called again the next day and made another report on November 3rd of 2023. And then December 13th of 2023, which would have been about a month later. And then exactly 2 months after that, in February 13th of 2024. And then it was give or take about 6 months until they called again, September 13th of 2024. They called again 3 days later, September 16th of 2024. They called again a month and a half later, October 30th of 2024. They called Halloween, October 31st of 2024, 1 day later. And then about 2 weeks later, November 16th of 2024, they called January 15th of 2025, January 16th of 2025, so a day later, and then January 22nd of 2025. A lot of those are like they're calling one day, they're calling the very next day, and she says that a lot of they're not really surprised by the reaction because of the reaction they get from Arizona Department of Child Services when they called about other children. Oh my God.
No, the department has unfortunately functioned in the past. We have to use our voice. We have to speak up.
There's a picture of Rebekah there getting an award at school. Everyone has described her as very smart, very curious. Neighbors you could hear described her as spending a little bit of extra time talking to people. And when I went and spoke to those people at the complex, they were running back through in their minds all the interactions that they had with Rebekah. And Melissa, we do have a question here from Gina Chavez. And she says, are both dad and girlfriend responsible equally? Obviously, these are allegations. They are accused in this murder. They're charged with murder and child abuse. I will say we listened to something in court and prosecutors allege that they are equally culpable. So that is what prosecutors have to say. But there's a lot that still has to play out in court. And so the next step in court is a preliminary hearing that's going to take place September 4th in Apache County. So we have a lot more to follow. And Melissa, I know that they do note in here in the report that both Richard and Anicia Woods, they talk about punishments, including punishing Rebekah with a belt. And it's Richard Baptiste who describes using quote unquote excessive force. And so we have detailed a little bit more. That was in our story on Friday. We have, links to that, links to our interview with Mom and Grandma. I know so many people have been asking about our interview with Mom and Grandma because they have been wondering about that aspect of things. And so, but we're also going to continue to keep asking questions of DCS as well, because I think there are still a ton of remaining questions out there.
I think there are. I was just actually looking at the bit of the report that you mentioned about the using of the belt, and that they continue to press him about that because he said he just used the leather of the belt repeatedly, and they repeatedly said, no, the marks look like you're using the buckle of the belt.
Oh my God. They not only beat her with the belt, but the buckle of the belt. Jesus. Oh my God.
And he eventually, according to the police report, said that he did admit to using excessive force in the discipline, that he was also worried about potential charges and losing his other children. Those other kids, we should say, are back in the DCS foster care system. And I think some of our big questions that remain are, A, how did dad get custody of these children? Because at one point, all of these kids were in foster care. Then dad was able to get custody of the kids. And then all of these.
Okay. How was he able to get custody? They said he came from another county, so maybe he wasn't living in a yurt at that time. But where the neighbors spoke looked like an apartment complex. It doesn't look like it looked more like a hotel area, not an apartment complex. So. And then we saw I don't know. I don't like that.
reports come in. I don't think we even know at this point how many people are going to have called DCS reporting concerns about this little girl and her family. And then why couldn't there have been some intervention before they kind of took off to this remote area? And were they, running to try to get away from authorities at some point? Were there active investigations going on when they left? We're asking all of those questions because, there are so many kids in Arizona who are in difficult situations, who are in need of care, who are in need of, sometimes out-of-home placement, foster care. There's about 8,000 kids in out-of-home placement now. So the question is, who's making these decisions, who are intervening on behalf of these kids? Because obviously there were so many people who love this little girl who feel like they tried and it wasn't successful to get her to a better place.
Yeah, and people are asking about that now, actually, in the question. So just to, refresh, we're talking about Rebekah Baptiste. Someone was asking if, they heard that maybe this little girl had begged her teachers not to let her go home. She was scared to go home. What we have reported is that there were staff that were very concerned that they had heard that their living situation would be changing, and they were concerned about that. And I think you just heard in the sound that we played that staff was concerned if Rebekah specifically would return to the school. And there was some real fear for the kids, which is why they reached out to DCS, they say, 12 times.
Yeah, they reached out 12 times and Rebekah still wasn't removed. I'm asking the same question, Southern. Orange Rose said, and why, if you hate her so much to be beating her, why not just leave her in the foster care system? Monsters. I agree. Money that they could have been getting from the situation? Oh, yeah, that's a good question. We've asked that several times. I don't know if it's happening more. I don't know if it's this generation, or I don't know if it's because we have access to the news so readily available at our fingertips, but it seems to be happening more and more.
And so, like you mentioned, there's a ton of questions there. And for people that are just tuning in, you can always, once we end this, you can replay it. So you can kind of get some of the details and the facts in the case. I wanted to go back through and I was trying to see if we missed anything in this new report. I did note one thing, that Anicia Woods claims that, she was in the medical field, that she was a CNA for years is what she told detectives. And she had just decided Rebekah would be fine. And that was a quote from the report, and something that, stuck with me as I was reading through this. And we're going to continue to follow what happens in court, what happens with DCS. We're going to hopefully talk to some more lawmakers, some more leaders, and be able to answer some of these questions that remain. I know that so many people have been talking about, on at least my social media, because I posted a flyer for Rebekah's celebration of life that her school at Power College Prep is holding on Thursday. And I know that the public is very interested. It is open to the public. We do want to play you some sound from her school where they talk about the celebration of life and why it was important to them to plan this.
Sharing, obviously, this tragic news to our staff. Simultaneously, they are talking about how we can celebrate Rebekah, how we can honor her, how they can come together as a community to just grieve and be together, not just as a community, but as Rebekah's family. She was with us more than 8 hours a day, right? 5 days a week, and really just throwing out different ideas on how to celebrate her, how to.
It says Magenta, Pink, If You Don't Know, by Rebekah. It says, if you want to find magenta, smell a lovely flower, or find a plant with pink leaves. Some really do have them. Chew some bubble gum, look at my backpack, or stick out your tongue after a lolly. Go to the farm and find a pig, or watch the road to find a Barbie car. If you want to find magenta,
include her family, her siblings, and the students on campus and staff who loved her. So really,
that was a cute little poem that she wrote. Maybe.
Excited to be able to have everyone together and just really celebrate who she was.
Yeah. And throughout that, you could see that program, that flyer that they've kind of put together with a poem that Rebekah put together herself, and then a little summary about the author. So I've posted that on my Facebook page as well. But they're saying magenta and pink, that's just her favorite color. So they're hoping that people can wear that to honor and celebrate her life. Melissa, I do want to bring up, we have 2 other cases. So I know that we also have been posting about lawmakers. They are doing a probe into child safety, child care here in the state. And there are 2 other cases that we have been focusing on, Emily Pike and Zariah Dodd. And we're going to continue.
Emily Pike was another one that we talked about briefly. And they felt like CPS failed her as well. All right, now we have some short kind of news clips that are going to talk more about the issues in the house.
We just found out a couple days ago.
Neighbors at the Central Phoenix apartment complex lighting candles in memory of 10-year-old Rebekah Baptiste.
I'm going to miss you when I'm gone. Take care, Ellie, from Rebecca.
Showing us cards and toys they had left behind before the Baptiste family moved in early July to rural Apache County.
She was a beautiful, beautiful soul. Like, she would literally be the protector of the kids. No child deserves that.
Are you waiting for EMS? I'm waiting for them because I'm trying to get a breath.
July 27th, Holbrook police met Rebekah's family, including her dad, Richard Baptiste, and his girlfriend, Anicia Woods, at an intersection.
Okay, so it was the dad and the girlfriend. Hannah UK said, Abella says hi. She's not feeling very well today. I hope she feels better.
Officers say they found Rebekah not breathing and severely injured. ABC 15 obtaining a newly released report from the Navajo County Sheriff's Office that describes Rebekah's injuries, including a brain bleed. It also details
I'm going to look for that report. Hold on. Let me write that down. I might be able to find it. Hold on. Suffering from a fucking brain bleed. Okay, it's going to be from Navajo County Sheriff's Office. BAJO. 2507094. Okay, and I'm going to see what they called it to see if we can pull it up and go through it.
Newly released report from the Navajo County Sheriff's Office that describes Rebekah's injuries, including a brain bleed. It also details Baptiste and Woods' interviews with detectives, saying they had moved to a yurt without round-the-clock access to electricity, having to shower using cups.
Every single neighbor was concerned why the hell they made them run laps for hours without
showering with cups. So this is from ABC 15, Arizona. All right. Sometimes they'll put it out in articles, so I'm going to see if we can pull it up. A brain bleed? Like, Jesus Christ. I hope that she feels better, too. A lot of people are sending Abella's loves. If you could tell her, Hannah. I hope she feels better. I don't know. I don't think she's naked. She probably has, like, a tube top or tank top on. Aw. Y'all are so sweet. Please send her my love as well.
Water.
So
and
you
they
saw that too.
They use it as a form of discipline.
Using physical activity as a form of punishment is also something Woods allegedly told detectives. The couple details multiple times Rebekah apparently ran away, saying.
So yeah, it was a motel because that was room number 203. It looked like. I mean, is it an apartment or a hotel?
Times Rebekah apparently ran away, saying she even jumped out of a 2-story window at her Phoenix apartment.
Why is that?
Oh, so it is an apartment complex. They were on the second floor. That's why it's number 203, and she jumped out the fucking window. Wow.
Child trying to run away.
Detectives note the couple's lack of emotion, even when showing photos of Rebekah's injuries. The report.
Wow. Just no emotion, and that's what we were talking about with the damn 911 call.
Says ultimately Baptiste admitted to using a belt for punishment and using excessive force. The couple denying other allegations.
How are you guys as a community feeling? You feel guilty. They always, can I pet your dog? They always stay a little longer. And like my neighbor pointed out, I think they were asking for help.
Rebekah died July 30th. Baptiste and Woods charged with murder and child abuse. The apartment complex left feeling a mix of emotions.
It's horrible that we couldn't have saved her.
The letter, there's photos where they went to Chuck E. Cheese, and it says, Dear Ellie, you're my best friend I ever had. I'm going to miss you when I'm gone. Take care, Ellie, from Rebekah.
Like, we all let her down. And who really let her down was the system who didn't listen to her cries.
The report says Baptiste also disclosed a history of involvement with DCS due to allegations.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Possible sexual abuse. Is that why she couldn't walk? God almighty. Yep, they did. The Turpins was awful. They do look like monsters. So it says, Richard also disclosed a history of involvement with DCS due to allegations of abuse, neglect, and possible sexual abuse. Holy shit.
Of abuse, neglect, and possible sexual abuse that he said were unsubstantiated. ABC 15 was told Rebekah's former school reached out to DCS a dozen times concerned about abuse or neglect. And Phoenix police say they responded to 4 incidents in the last 2 years involving the Baptiste household. They were told their officers contacted DCS each time. DCS pushing back, saying the school contacted them 5 times and only one of those met the reporting criteria. They say they will be thoroughly reviewing Rebekah's case. We also asked the department for a sit-down interview. We're still waiting for a response from DCS. As for Baptiste and Woods, they are due back in court in Apache County on September 4th. In Phoenix, Ashley Holden, ABC 15, Arizona.
Wow. This one is the 911 call.
Tonight, we're hearing the 911 calls made in the case of 10-year-old Rebekah Baptiste as she was being transported from her home in the desert. Baptiste was unresponsive by the time she received medical attention and died at Phoenix Children's Hospital 3 days later. Her father, Richard Baptiste, and his girlfriend, Anicia Woods, are now charged with first-degree murder and 3 counts of child abuse. Fox 10's Taylor Wirtz listened to the 911 calls. Taylor, this is a tough story.
Yeah, Ashley, it is. And most 911 calls we listen to show parents manic with fear, tearful, and pleading with first responders. But the woman talking with emergency dispatchers as 10-year-old Rebekah Baptiste was being taken to the hospital had none of those emotions.
911, what's the case your emergency? Hi, we're headed, we went to the Holbrook, it's a EMS station.
The 911 calls leading up to 10-year-old Rebekah Baptiste getting medical attention are brief, but they paint a picture of the final moments before EMS found her. As a woman tells the dispatcher, Baptiste is unconscious on their drive to the hospital.
My daughter, she's with us. We live out in the desert, and we're calling the Holbrook to the EMS station.
At the time...
Okay, wait a minute. I was looking for the thing. I'm going to back it up just a little bit. I was looking for the article that gave us the incident report. Someone from out of the country argued with me 10 different reports CPS would surely do something good. I stopped arguing with her. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to back this up. I was trying to find the report. Okay, wait a minute. Sorry, we're going to break this down. She was awarded the Wolfpack Award, Star Wolfpack Award. Look at her, precious.
Emergency dispatchers as 10-year-old Rebekah Baptiste was being taken to the hospital had none of those emotions.
911, what's the case your emergency? Hi, we're headed, we went to the Holbrook, it's a Holbrook, the EMS station.
The 911 calls leading up to 10-year-old Rebekah Baptiste getting medical attention are brief, but they paint a picture of the final moments before EMS found her. As a woman tells the dispatcher, Baptiste is unconscious on their drive to the hospital.
So she's unconscious and they're driving to the hospital.
My daughter, she's with us. We live out in the desert, and we're calling the Holbrook to the EMS station.
At the time of the call, Baptiste was living on a remote desert property with her father, Richard Baptiste, and his girlfriend, Anicia Woods, who are now charged with first-degree murder in her death and 3 counts of child abuse. The woman on the phone mentions Baptiste running away multiple times.
She ran away for the 3rd time in a week in the desert, and when the neighbor found her in the wash, she was unresponsive completely.
Okay, so their story is she keeps running away. The neighbor found her in the washout area and she was unresponsive. In the mugshot, the girlfriend shows a little smirk. Sick.
She just ran away. This is like the third time now, and she still hasn't even like really bounced back from the first time. But when the neighbor found her, said that she was just almost gasping. By the time she got back to the house, she was barely breathing, so I breathed for her now. She's unresponsive, unconscious, unable to breathe for herself.
The woman claimed.
And we didn't call like an ambulance? Jesus. And she hadn't bounced back from the first time. Do you mean cognitively because you beat the shit out of her so bad? Or do you mean mentally?
Seems to be giving Baptiste mouth to mouth in the car.
Is she breathing? I'm waiting for her.
At one
Then how are you fucking talking?
point, the operator asks if the woman knows CPR, to which she says this.
Yes, I do, unfortunately.
She also asks the dispatcher if they should head straight to the hospital.
Would it be easier if is it going to be faster if we just keep going?
To which she is told to wait for EMS to come and start CPR.
I understand that. I need you to pull over so I can have EMS meet you.
The call ends as sirens approach. Police records show the 10-year-old was taken to Little Colorado Medical Center in Holbrook before being flown to Phoenix Children's Hospital, where she died 3 days later. Prosecutors say it was a, quote, long-term horrendous abuse that caused Baptiste's death, with brain bleeding so severe it left her brain dead. And court records indicate this was not the first time Baptiste needed care for these types of injuries. Staff at her school, Empower College Prep, say she was a bright, eager-to-learn student who won many awards. They told Fox 10 they made multiple calls to the Arizona Department of Child Safety. DCS told us reports must meet a specific threshold to be investigated, and that only one call in the last year met that requirement. Empower College Prep is...
Okay. So now we're going to go to some of the articles I found, which get a little bit more graphic. And I'm going to see what we can find about the actual report that tells us exactly what happened. If I can't find them on here, then I will request them and go over them with you guys. Yeah, unfortunately, I know CPS. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Oh, hold on. Let me pull up the article. Okay, this one reads, 10-year-old girl dies after she was tortured by her father and his longtime girlfriend, Dr. Say. I can play the little segment.
Broken system. That's what Damon Hawkins feels played a part in his niece's brutal murder.
You know, she spent the last 4 days in the hospital by herself.
Right.
And the only thing DCS can say is, well, I'm sorry that you weren't informed.
Hawkins, the uncle of 10-year-old Rebekah Baptiste, says he can't even begin to imagine what she went through.
She was black and blue from head to toe. She had 2 black eyes, and they're thinking the cause of death was because of she hemorrhaged.
During a court,
she was black and blue from head to toe with 2 black eyes, and they think she had a brain hemorrhage. Jesus Christ.
Hearing Monday morning, prosecutors said Rebekah was missing toenails, had bruises all over her body, and had been starved.
The above findings are highly concerning for child physical abuse, child sexual abuse, and torture, which is a surprisingly, shockingly strong word for a medical doctor.
But it wasn't just Rebekah.
Oh, no, that's from the fucking medical doctor. Torture, starvation, sexual abuse. How was she fucking being sexually abused and nobody knew? What the fuck? And if there was allegations made to DCS about sexual abuse, why the fuck didn't they do anything?
Prosecutors alleged her...
I mean, even the physical abuse... wow. Jesus Christ.
2 younger brothers were also abused. Robert Baptiste, Rebekah's father, and Anicia Woods charged with her death. Prosecutors added that Anicia admitted to investigators that she hit the kids.
For a long period.
After hearing all of that, Hawkins needed a minute to regroup during our interview. Hawkins says he and his wife alerted DCS after they started to notice red flags. He says on multiple occasions they tried to see Rebekah and her 2 younger brothers, but they were always turned away.
The answer we always got was, "Oh, they're kids. They're in trouble. Oh, they're in trouble."
The last time he saw the kids,
Even in this picture, she's got a mark on her lip, like a red mark where she's been hit in the face and her tooth chipped it. Or, her tooth hit her lip and made her bleed. Yeah, where was the mom? This is unbelievable and sickening.
says he could see the fear in their eyes when it was time to go home.
I made it clear when I met with the investigator and DCS of just, you guys, your system failed her. We have logs and logs of the times where over the past years where they've been contacted of the worry that we had. We got word of sexual abuse, about a year and a half ago. And then, they turned a blind eye to it.
Hawkins says he understands he wasn't Rebekah's legal guardian and getting answers will be a battle.
Just one step, one day at a time. That's all we can do. It's advocate for her, advocate for the kids that don't have it. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do.
A statement from the Department of Child Safety says it's conducting a thorough review of the case to figure out if the system is at fault in any way.
Oh, yeah, you're at motherfucking fault. Stop it. You ain't gonna do no damn investigation. Let me get close and see what it says. It says, it is with a heavy heart that we acknowledge the death of Rebekah Baptiste, a child who was known to the department. Anytime a child in our community is harmed, it deeply affects us all, especially when we know the family. The emotion I'm having right now is that whoever wrote this, I just want to choke the shit out of them. You know the family. Oh, it bothers you because you know the fucking family? You know the family because everybody and their fucking mamas, grannies, aunts, uncle called you and you did not do anything. Yeah, when do you step in as a damn civilian? And it sounds like people were. It's not a threat, but I really want to choke whoever wrote this. It deeply affects us all, especially when we know the family. I wish I could slap the person who wrote this right now. Our dedicated staff works tirelessly to ensure the safety of all children, but tragically, those who intend to harm children can sometimes evade. I'm about to throw this coffee cup. Evade? Are you fucking serious? Evade? She's bruised from head to toe to a point that the police said it's not possible that she's not being abused. There's allegations of sexual abuse, which if you would have made it mandatory that she see a fucking doctor, as would be done in any other CPS case, you would have known she was being abused sexually. They're living in a yurt in the fucking desert with no AC, no refrigerator. Okay. Tragically, those who intend to harm children can sometimes evade even the most robust systems designed to protect them. Like, you got everybody, the school, the fucking neighbors. There was nobody else to reach out to you that didn't reach out to you. What do you mean evade? Evade. Everything was like being shoved in your face and you closed your eyes. Didn't nobody evade a fucking thing except you. Allegedly, in my opinion. In response to the incident, the department is actively collaborating with law enforcement in a joint investigation to ensure that the people responsible for this heinous crime are brought to justice. I mean, what about your role in it? We're committed to seeing the individual or individuals who murdered this child held accountable with the criminal justice system. Additionally, thank God, the Department Safety Analysis Review Team will be conducting a thorough review of this case. The goal is to identify and understand any systematic barriers that may have influenced the outcome and to implement data-driven systematic changes systemic changes to prevent such tragedies in the future. Despite our expertise in child safety, we cannot predict the future and must operate within the boundaries of our legal authority. Negative ghostwriter. Everybody in this child's life called, and there was so many signs of abuse, and you didn't do a fucking thing. Yeah, yeah, that was fucking bullshit.
The statement ended with, quote, "Despite our expertise in child safety, we cannot predict the future and must operate within the boundaries of our legal authority."
That's the end of that. We'll read the article. Exactly. There was nothing else that anybody could do other than stage a protest in front of the office. I called DCFS from another state over my nephew being covered in bruises. The state said nothing was awry. Wow. Arizona ruled that living in the desert under those conditions was inhumane to prisoners, yet CPS allowed this. Wow, Teresa. Heinous, horrendous, horrific, and heartbreaking. At least it started raining. That's kind of soothing. Okay. Holbrook, Arizona. A 10-year-old girl died after she was, quote, tortured, unquote, by her father and his longtime girlfriend, according to officials. Rebekah Baptiste was found with severe injuries and unresponsive in Holbrook on July 27th. She died 3 days later in the hospital. Hold on a minute, y'all. I smell something burning. Hold on. It's all right. My child is cooking. They went out and got some more of the puffball mushrooms, and she's cooking, but she didn't have any butter in the pan. Okay. Nope, not today. All right. Okay, prosecutors say they had extensive documentation from doctors detailing the abuse. They said Rebekah was malnourished and dehydrated, with one doctor using the word, quote, torture, unquote, to describe what happened to her. Damon Hawkins, Rebekah's uncle, said he feels a broken system played a part in his niece's brutal homicide. She spent the last 4 days in the hospital by herself, and the only thing DCS can say is, "I'm sorry you weren't informed," unquote, Hawkins said. So he wasn't even informed to go to the damn hospital and sit with her. Hey, Jenny Jen, good to see you. Yeah, this is insane. Time to bring this shit to light. We need to start making this public every time people make calls to DCS. Hawkins said he can't begin to imagine what she went through. Quote, "She was black and blue from her head to her toe. She had 2 black eyes, and they're thinking the cause of death was because of a hemorrhage," unquote, Hawkins said. During a court hearing Monday morning, prosecutors said Rebekah was missing toenails, had bruises all over her body, and had been starved. Authorities amended their indictment, charging the couple with child abuse for how they treated Rebekah's 2 younger brothers. Baptiste and Woods are being held on a $1 million bond. In court, the defense said the 2 boys are in DCS custody. KPHO also spoke with Empower College Prep, which confirmed the 3 children attended school there until May. Empower College Prep said their staff had reached out to the Department of Child Safety 12 separate times. They said despite efforts, it did not appear any action was taken. All right. Let me see. Newly obtained records Sheriff report details abuse before girl's death in northern Arizona. I'm going to see what this says. Oh, wow. Okay. So it says sheriff report details abuse before girl's death in northern Arizona. And here it says Richard did state he did not deserve to be a father and that he should face consequences for his actions. Lord have mercy.
Rebekah Baptiste attended is heartbroken. They remember the girl with so much promise, who loved bows and hugs. It makes reading this incident report that much harder. In it, Richard Baptiste, Rebekah's father and Baptiste's girlfriend, Anicia Woods, told investigators that the 10-year-old ran away from home and believed she'd fallen in a wash, that they were unsure what happened to her.
I want to find that report. It says, quote, ran away from home and believed to have fallen in a wash, unsure what happened to her. Doctors reported Rebekah in a severe state of dehydration and doubted if she ran away.
But doctors reported Rebekah was in a severe state of dehydration and doubted if she did run away. The couple was questioned as Rebekah remained in the hospital unconscious. She reportedly had severe bruising throughout her body, along with possible cigarette burns to her back and missing chunks of hair.
Whoa. Cigarette. Okay. But number one, okay, skirt. As a smoker, my motherfucking self, let me be the first to say, if you're living in a yurt with no refrigerator, no air conditioning, no fucking shower or anything like that, you can't provide those things for them children. The children don't have a shower, they don't have a refrigerator, and they don't have an air conditioner in the motherfucking desert of Arizona. You shouldn't have your cigarettes. That absolutely not, number one. But there's cigarette burns to this child's back. What else did they say? Absolutely fucking sickening.
Was questioned as Rebekah remained in the hospital unconscious. She reportedly had severe bruising throughout her body, along with possible cigarette burns to her back and missing chunks of hair.
Missing chunks of hair? What did they do? Hold her by her hair and burn her with cigarettes, and then she tried to get away and it caused chunks to be ripped out? It was just a rainstorm just come through here, Miss Scorpio. He should be facing a wall, and there should be a firing squad behind him.
Anicia called herself Baptiste's fiance and said they'd been together for 4 years. In the report, investigators note they changed Rebekah's pants and got gas before leaving for the hospital. The girlfriend explaining she was a certified nursing assistant, advising she didn't think Rebekah needed medical treatment, stating, I decided she would be fine.
How did you decide that she didn't need medical attention, but she's bruised from head to toe, missing toenails? But I mean, then again, if sexual abuse was going on in the home and you are okay with that, I suppose any fucking thing's okay with you, you fucking sick bitch. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cuss. This is highly infuriating.
When questioned about the child's state, Anicia reportedly said she received those injuries due to her own actions and during periods when she had run away. After showing Richard photos of the bruising, he admitted that it would be tough to explain all the injuries, and he said he wished he hadn't done it.
What? I'm speechless.
He also told investigators he did not deserve to be a father and that he should face consequences for his actions. The couple has been charged with murder and child abuse in connection with Rebekah's 2 younger brothers. The school Rebekah attended is planning a memorial to honor her life on Thursday.
And we heard about that. Newly obtained records are revealing more details about what led up to the death of 10-year-old Rebekah and authorities' interactions with her biological father and his girlfriend. Arizona family obtained a 33-page indictment or incident report from the Navajo County Sheriff's Office detailing law enforcement interactions with Rebekah's father, Richard Baptiste, and his girlfriend, Anicia Woods, and graphic details of the girl's injuries, which prosecutors say were the result of prolonged physical and sexual abuse. The first report from law enforcement was taken the night of July 27th when Rebekah was found unresponsive before she died 3 days later in Phoenix. Navajo County Sheriff's Office deputies interviewed Richard in Holbrook, who noted that they had moved to Concho, a rural community about 50 miles southeast of Holbrook in Apache County, about 3 weeks prior. During that talk, Richard mentioned his father was supposed to move onto the property, but was arrested on July 6th on drug possession charges. Richard repeatedly told detectives that he had moved from Phoenix after the death of his great uncle and that only he and his father could take care of the property. He explained the children's biological mother and he had been separated about 9 years ago because of her drug abuse problems. On that property, they were living in a yurt, a small circular domed structure built with a wooden frame with limited access to electricity and water. But there's a house. Like, why do we not have access to water and electricity in this building right here? The report also revealed that Richard had previous involvement with the Arizona Department of Child Safety due to allegations of abuse, neglect, and possible sexual abuse. He said those claims were untrue and that his kids were in therapy and Rebekah had tried to run away in Phoenix. Richard explained the children's routine, which included waking up around 7 a.m. and starting their day around 9 or 10. According to deputies, he also talked about having a bedtime routine, and detectives talked about recent runaway attempts involving Rebekah in Concho, which happened 3 separate times. 3 separate times in 3 weeks? She's running away once a week. Orange Rose said, "This is exactly why people don't report things. They know nothing will be done anyway. It shouldn't be that way. System needs change." I agree. When addressing the runaway incidents, Richard admitted spanking with a belt the second time it happened. While it was a common discipline method in their house, he said it was a last resort in most circumstances, paperwork said. He denied any physical abuse and said that bruises and other injuries were because of falls and crawling through barbed wire. Detectives would later describe some of the bruises as unimaginable. Hold on, I'm about to cough. Excuse me. Maybe they didn't want to pay for the water and electricity. That's about the only thing that makes sense with there being a building right there. Hey, Stoic. I'm speechless as well. I'm too fucking angry for words right now. What the fuck is wrong with people and this system? I can't wrap my brain around this either, Dandy. Like, I don't even know what to say. Yeah, it's just, God. Quote, minimal concern is what this is titled. Detectives noted that Richard seemed to express minimal concern for Rebekah's well-being and explained that he had tried to get her help with behavioral issues. He explained the challenges of parenting her compared to her brothers, and while he described Rebekah as smart and helpful, she was stubborn and wanted to run away. During that conversation, he explained that some of his daughter's injuries were because of running away and likely falling into a wash. Richard also claimed that Woods watched the kids while he was at work and that they typically stayed inside during the hottest part of the day. He also stated that no one else was caring for or supervising the children while he was away. Authorities also asked about the previous sex abuse allegations, and Richard said it came from an unsubstantiated claim during Rebekah's time in the foster home. In that report, deputies said he expressed his willingness to cooperate with law enforcement, though several of his responses seemed to be deflections. Deputies said they later found injuries on Rebekah consistent with possible sex abuse after she was taken to the hospital on July 27th. Doctors noted that she had severe bruising throughout her body, along with possible cigarette burns to her back and missing chunks of hair. Hold on. Further questions from authorities detailed Richard's substance abuse, admitting that he drank alcohol and smoked marijuana, but kept them locked away when not in use. When investigators questioned why Rebekah might have wanted to run away, he speculated about possibly wanting to see a neighbor or find a community well for help or water. Oh my God. It's to the point that the child is running away to find fucking water. I mean, and that's what he's saying. Like, we know it was because of abuse, but his reasoning is that, I don't know, she wants to run away to find fucking water and she's dehydrated. And oh my God. I'm so sorry, Miss Scorpio. Right, Dandy? It absolutely terrible, Cara. In the report, deputies said the girl would be found dehydrated after running away. Investigators also detailed that she had difficulty drinking water and, in cases, plural, would have someone pour water into her mouth. Detectives also questioned about inconsistencies between Rebekah's injuries and the supposed reasons behind them. Richard also acknowledged that they used a bucket and cup for showering due to the lack of a proper shower. Investigators also told Richard about the seriousness of the situation and the resulting criminal charges that could arise should Rebekah die, and Richard reportedly expressed minimal concern about losing his daughter or facing potential charges. The report also detailed how detectives showed Richard his daughter's injuries, telling him he could do this. Okay, wait a minute. The report also detailed how detectives showed Richard his daughter's injuries, telling him he could do this to her. He replied it wasn't supposed to do that. He said he didn't deserve to be a dad, but maintained nearly no emotion despite admitting to using excessive force, according to investigators. During an interview with Woods, she reported that they met at a call center in Phoenix where they worked together and had been together for about 4 years. Investigators asked Wood about her time in Phoenix and asked for more details on Rebekah's injuries. She initially claimed she didn't know how they happened, but later said she was unsure of her role since Richard disciplined the girl. Detectives asked her what would happen if someone injured a 10-year-old girl, and she reported that she didn't know, maybe some jail time. Woods later admitted to using a belt and causing some of the bruises, the sheriff's office said. Woods said she worked as a certified nursing assistant in California and didn't think Rebekah needed medical help with her numerous injuries, saying she thought the girl would be fine. Like, and if that's true, how much bullshit had she been through by this time to where you thought she would be fine? I can't even. Despite the severity of Rebekah's condition, the report reveals that she didn't call 911 right away. Woods told investigators that she had trouble calling first responders due to poor cell phone service in the area. However, deputies questioned this claim, noting they had no issue using their phones in the same location. Woods also admitted to changing Rebekah's clothes before seeking help, further delaying care. See, that's weird to me. It's probably because Rebekah vomited on her clothes, and I'm questioning, was there blood on her clothes? And from where, considering sexual abuse allegations? Arizona's family investigates later obtained the 911 calls, which show Woods identifying herself as Rebekah's mother during the call and said Rebekah wasn't breathing. However, her tone lacked urgency during the emergency. She said during the 911 call that they were on their way to an EMS station in Holbrook, and she was putting her mouth around Rebekah and breathing in her mouth. The 911 dispatcher told her to pull over. First responders arrived a short time later at the intersection of Highway 77 and Highway 180, and Rebekah was rushed to Little Colorado Medical Center in Winslow before being flown to Phoenix Children's Hospital. Once in the valley, she was declared brain dead due to bleeding and swelling, the report said. She was placed on life support due to no brain activity, and she died on July 30th. Woods and Richard have since been charged with homicide and child abuse in connection with Rebekah's 2 younger brothers. Arizona's Family Investigates later uncovered that the school the 3 kids attended in Phoenix, Empower College Prep, had raised concerns and called DCS alleging abuse. School officials said they made 13 calls to DCS about Rebekah. DCS responded saying the school called 5 times and that only 1 was investigated because the rest didn't meet requirements needed for further investigation. Oh my God. Yeah, it should have been stopped, that second call. I can't even. This shit is unfathomable. I wonder what drugs they were on to make them disassociate so much from his daughter, to make them flat, no emotions. Nursing assistant can't. I don't know if she could get medication. It depends on if she was still working, and she probably would have been found out pretty quickly. Yeah, she didn't know. She sure as hell didn't try to stop it. I don't even know. Like, this is insane. And then I think about Emily Pike crying and begging to go back to her mama's house. It's too much shit going on in Arizona, y'all. The mother watched her child get abused. Oh, yeah. By her boyfriend and cousin who just got out of prison. Victoria Martins. Yeah, I hope you're okay, Miss Scorpio. I'm gonna end it here for today. I just don't even know. I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna work on getting the report to find out exactly what happened. But I can't even. Like, it makes me sick. You're going to be moving to Maricopa County soon, so they need to look out. I hope they do. I had to call 911 because one day the neighbor's kid ran up to me scared, crying. He told me his parents were drinking and fighting for help, brought me right back to what I dealt with as a kid. I'm so sorry, Stoic. I'm so sorry. I'm glad you were able to help, though. We do all need a hug. And I'll see y'all later. Y'all have a good night. It is a hard one. Yeah, I feel sick as well. I'm going to play the outro song to try to brighten everybody up a little bit. I don't even know what the hell to say, but I do want y'all to know that you are enough, you are important, you are special, and you are loved. I wish we could have told Rebekah that. I appreciate y'all being here and hanging out and for the support and everything. And I really enjoy our time together every day. Thank you guys so much for everything. And I love y'all. And we'll be back tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. Try not to think about it too much. Bye.